I'm going to wait whilst Luce sings along in chat right now. I can't do two things at once. Oh my god, it's full.
Y'all ready for this? That's a good fizz today.
We nearly had a spillage then. That was dangerous.
Ooh, I didn't mute you.
You've tried for years. Welcome everybody, welcome back to 40k After Dark, your Friday night dose of 40k entertainment to get you ready for the weekend, apart from the fact that if you're in the UK, it's actually bank holiday weekend. So what I'm hoping is, that means most of you have already been pre-drinking. We have Bank Holiday Monday as well. We have a long weekend this weekend in the UK. I mean, unless you're a content creator, then you don't have bank holidays off or weekends. But for the rest of you, you get long weekends, right? And we're here to celebrate with yet more 10th edition rules. I feel like GW at this point might actually be a channel fan.
Yeah.
They drop rules on Monday, ready for the Liam and Joe show. They drop rules on Wednesday, ready for the 40k show. They drop rules on Fridays, ready for 40k After Dark. No new 10th edition rules on Thursday, none on Tuesday. I feel like GW are a Liam fan.
You got no homework.
I feel like they're a Liam fan. So thanks to GW. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical buttons. So hit that like button if you enjoy the stream. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already and you're watching and you haven't commented, or if you're watching on demand, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You can't comment in chat if you're not a subscriber. And then hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live or every time we drop a new video. Working on a video that I'm hoping to release on Sunday, but I don't know yet. I'm hoping to release it on Sunday, but we'll see. Okay? We'll see. Right.
Schooner's got a new tag for us.
What's that?
Like the stream, you plebs.
No, it's like the stream, you shits. He's got it, the exclamation mark like. Anyway, welcome back to the stream. How are you all doing? How are you all enjoying your Bank Holiday Friday? I've already seen a couple of people that have been saying, oh, I'm working. I'm like, what? What? On a Bank Holiday Friday? I thought it was only sad people like me that do those sorts of things. But thank you for joining us on this evening. Thank you for choosing for us to be your evening entertainment. And tonight, before we jump into dog, can you fuck off with your stupid noises? That was very off-putting.
It's like having a hedgehog here.
Well, like it is. Around the corner from the desk. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, clean your feet then.
Emmy, out.
Aww.
Fucking noises. I can't deal with that. Right, anyway. Before we jump into the article from Games Workshop, before we see the new rules for 10th edition 40k, specifically around Space Marines, a little bit around Tyranids, we say a big shout out to Nordost, who attention sucked.
What?
Suck. Attention seeked.
Sort.
Attention sought. That'll do.
Yeah.
I forgot today was pupil coil day and lodged into work, and just wondering all why no else was lodged in.
Amazing.
Aww.
Amazing. Poor old Dave. I've done that before though. So big thank you, Nordos, for attention sorting. And then 95 Ginger Range gifted 5. There's 6 new members already. Remember, 100 members per stream is the limit. Otherwise, in May, we quit. That's what we said last night. No more threatening. We were threatening Joe's Terminators and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
So like, cool. We don't hit 100 members in a night. We just quit. All right? We just quit. Anywho, Games Workshop have released some new 10th edition. I'm going to get really boring for you any minute, Lisa, all right?
All right.
Games Workshop have released some new rules for 10th edition, which are interesting. This is the first time where I'm not sure how I feel about it. So far, everything we've seen, I've been incredibly positive for. This is the first time I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I will explain as we go through that. There's a thing that I read that was like, no, I don't like that at all. And then a thing that I read either after or before, I was like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. We'll get into it. So what we're going to do is we are going to bring up the James Workshop page. By the way, thank you so much, Dave F, for the donation, you absolute hero. I'm going to bring up the Games Workshop page right now. I'm going to scroll right to the top because I had to do some pre-reading because, you know, you've got to prep for these things, like professional stuff. And then we're going to go to a screen sharing type device like this one. I'm going to keep talking to you, just make sure the mics are working. Yeah, they're good. Perfect. Okay. Faction rules.
The post office never closes, in working too.
On a bank holiday? Don't
Well,
our post offices close on bank holiday?
Our post office closes at lunchtime tomorrow, and then they're closed.
So they were open today?
Yeah.
I thought they used to be closed on bank holidays. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I don't know about today. They're open tomorrow.
Poor old Mandy. Poor old Mandy. Well, at least we're here to entertain you, Mandy, and get you through the weekend. Faction rules are leaner and cleaner in the new edition of Warhammer 40k. Last week we had a look at how to build an army in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. One of the major choices you'll need to make after choosing which faction you like the most, of course, is what detachment rules you'll pick. These determine how your specific army performs, providing special rules and unique traits, as well as unique stratagems and enhancements.
Oath of Moment is going to be brown.
We're getting there, we're getting there. Don't come too soon, people, alright? The index cards released at the dawn of the new edition will each come with one detachment. So once we index, every army will get one detachment. I should imagine codexes will give you your flavour, like Ultramarines and Salamanders and Raven Guard, etc. But the indexing will look like it will come with one detachment, representing a common fighting style for a particular faction, and more will emerge as new codexes arrive and armies expand. There is one golden rule: every detachment must fit into a single double-page spread. This means you'll never need to go leafing through an armful of rulebooks to find a key stratagem. You'll have your core rules, your data sheets, and 2 pages of unique rules, and you're good to go. They've hammered this point a lot, and it's really good that they're hammering this point a lot, because this is the thing that we've complained about a lot. Now, there is a point of, you know, it's already dead meme. You've told us. We know. We're aware. We're aware what you've said you're going to do. You don't need to keep telling us that you're going to do it. What you actually need to do is just do it, ultimately. But I get why they're making a big deal about it, because we as a community made a massive deal about it, right? Then it hits this tag. Whoever made this tagline, I feel like got promoted to CEO of Games Workshop at this point. Remember, simplified, not simple. Every fucking article at the moment's got this phrase. You've said that enough now, GW. You can leave that alone, right? On top of this, every faction gets an army ability, regardless of which detachment you're using. This represents the totemic aspect of that faction in war. So the orcs get war.
We don't all have bank holiday this weekend. Orthodox Christians have it next weekend this year.
Well,
Oh, I didn't know that.
if you don't have it at the same time as me, you're doing it wrong, Adrian. There you go. Right. Orcs get war. Tyranids get synapse. The Astral Militarum get orders. And the Space Marines get Oath of Moment. So, whichever detachment you take for Space Marines, whichever one you take, so you get your standard one detachment in your index, and you'll probably get an Ultramarines one, and a Salamanders one, and a etc, etc, etc in your codex. Whichever one of those you take, you will always get access to Oath of Moment, right? If your army faction is, by the way, in an edition that's supposed to be less lethal, this is where I'm not sure how I feel. I think this is bonkers. If your army faction is Adeptus Astartes, at the start of your command phase, select one unit from your opponent's army. 0 restrictions on type of unit, 1 unit from your opponent's army. Until the start of your next command phase, each time a model from your army with this ability makes an attack that targets that enemy unit, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. This is mental. So I pick one unit of my enemy. I pick their Blightlord Terminators, or I pick their Necron Warriors, or I pick their Dire Avengers, whatever it might be. I pick one unit from my enemy's army, and without having to worry about auras or anything like that, my whole army.
GW must be now sponsored by Go.Compare. Simples.
My whole army can now reroll all hits and wounds against it. That's mental. I'm waiting for the next super chat to come through. It's just popped up on here, so it means she's going to read it. There it goes.
Liam, you have to repeat those phrases over and over again, because there is going to be some nit out there who will complain when the rules are released, and this way, GW can say nope, we said it.
I think it's been done to death a little bit. Thanks for the donations, you joining all your heroes. I feel like this is ridiculous. This means there's 5 units a turn in your opponent's army that is just getting deleted, right? Now, in this edition, which we think is too lethal, certain factions have abilities where your whole army can reroll wounds against 1 unit for a game, and we've considered that as quite good and quite strong. And this is allowing your whole army to reroll all... No, it's not locked to core, because core's gone by the looks of it. Everything we've seen so far would show us that core as a keyword is gone, which again I'm grateful for. This particular army rule allows your whole army to reroll all hit rolls and all wound rolls against 5 enemy units in a game. It's pretty strong, that. No auras required. Now, one of the reasons why I didn't like it isn't necessarily the strength. The strength concerns me slightly, but if they have toned a lot of weapons back, maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe we're just getting too excited about this rule. The thing that annoyed me the most about this is what it is. So I feel like we're going to see less rerolls in general, and I've said forever, like I'm now building army lists that don't have any rerolls because I'm so sick of rerolls. And what this is army-wide reroll hits, reroll wounds against an enemy unit. I don't like it because it's rerolls. I hate rerolls, right? But then we go on to the next stage of the article. Rerolls are significantly less common in the new edition. So the ability to single out one target per round for complete annihilation reinforces the Space Marine's reputation for disciplined, targeted hammer strikes. So narratively, I'm not against it, to be clear. I don't like the way that it's implemented. Rerolling hits and wounds is always feels bad moments. I don't like them. It's always tedious. It's always boring. And let's say you're playing against an Imperial Knight or a Chaos Knight player who's mostly bought big knights. He might have 5 models. So what you're saying is your whole army can reroll all hits and all wounds all game against a knight player. It's just a bit meh. I just don't like it. This is the first thing I've seen from 10th edition that I'm not a fan of. And it's not even because I necessarily think it's so powerful. It's just that it's, oh, I've rolled all my hits. I'm going to pick them all up and roll them again. And I've rolled all my wounds. I'm going to pick them all up and roll them all again. And I'm going to do this for every single unit in my army that targets that unit. I'm not a fan of that. It's just not. Don't forget also Oath of Moment. We've already seen on the Terminator data sheet with Fury of the First. Oath of Moment works with that. So if you're targeting a unit with your Terminators, and you're targeting the unit that was selected for the Oath of Moment ability, your Terminators also get +1 to hit, so they'll be hitting on 2s as well. I'm just not a fan of the reroll all hits, reroll all wounds thing. I don't like this. I think they could have done something significantly more interesting and exciting for Space Marines. This wasn't it for me. This is the first swing and a miss I've seen in 10th edition. Anyway, exploring detachments. The Tyranids begin their adventures in the new edition as an invasion fleet, focused on swift evolution and overwhelming offense. The invasion fleet's detachment rule is hyper adaptions, which provides 3 different abilities you can choose from each battle depending on what you're fighting. So, this is different to the one above, okay? The one above is an army rule. We're now looking at a detachment rule. So Tyranids will also have an army rule that every detachment gets.
Stick Monkey, you are a hero. Or thanks Amy Bot.
Oh, you lot. You lot. Attention sorters. Is that what we decided it was?
Yeah.
Attention something.
I sort attention.
It would be better had they just gave them a +1 to hit and to wound.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest with you, this is one of the few occurrences where I don't actually know what I would do instead. But I'm just so anti rerolls because anti rerolls is kind of shit. Not anti rerolls, it's rerolls in general is kind of shit. I'm just not a fan of. I'm rerolling all these dice. I'm rerolling all that. Like I hate it. I really don't like it. For most armies, if you're playing guard, it won't necessarily be the worst.
As long as they removed most rerolls, Oaths of Moment is okay. Only 5 units per game. First 2 turns won't be able to attack with all units due to range.
So against a lot of armies, it might not be the worst in the world. But against, like I said, against some armies that might only have 4 or 5 really impressive units on the table, in general, I feel like it's gonna be a bit feels bad for people. I know they're trying to make Space Marines, but I don't think this is the greatest in the world. Unless you're a Space Marine player, then you're probably super happy, right? So the hyper adaptation rule is a fleet detachment rule. And it isn't an army-wide rule. So they'll get this because this is the detachment you're picking. This is the one that comes, the standard in the index. And then you'll also get an army rule. Clear? Should be super easy to understand. So this isn't the only rule Tyranids get.
Feels like reroll hits and wounds of 1 would have been strong enough. Although depending on your chapter, you might not get to benefit from Oath until turn 2 at the earliest due to weapon ranges, etc.
Yeah, it's not even about this is what I'm trying to get through to people, right? It's not even about the strength of the rule necessarily. It seems like it's quite strong to me, but it's not necessarily about the strength of the rule that's a problem. The problem is it's reroll hits, reroll wounds. It's just tedious and boring. And if they're trying to, like, they were talking about speeding the addition up, allowing army-wide reroll hits and wounds against certain units doesn't speed the addition up. And it's not going to solve the problem of people taking mass low-strength firepower to drop big units just because they can reroll hits and wounds. Like, so they're going to go, okay, we're making melters and things like chain fists good against vehicles because it needs to be good against vehicles. But then we're going to get, so if you come up against an army that's got 2 Rogel Dawns and a Baneblade, you're going to want to have chain fists and you're going to want to have melter guns. Or do you? Because you just take tons and tons and tons and tons of bolters and select one of them as your Oath of Moment ability. Hey, look, I've got 2,000 bolt shots, reroll hits or reroll wounds. It died anyway. Don't need those melters, I don't need those chain fists. It's just a bit of it doesn't fit with everything else they've done so far. And I'm about to continue reading, And everything else I love, to be clear. This is the only thing I'm not sold on. I really don't like it, right? I really don't like it. Okay. So again, back to the hyper adaptation, right? The hyper adaptation is a detachment rule. So with Oath of Moment as your army rule, if you take whichever the Space Marine Strike Force is, the Space Marine detachment is in their index, you'll get the Oath of Moment rule, and you'll also get the detachment rule. With Tyranids, you'll get the army rule, which you don't know what it is, and you'll get the hyper adaptation rule, which provides 3 different abilities you can choose from each battle round depending on what you're fighting. Swarming Instincts adds sustain hits 1 ability to your attacks against infantry and swarms, landing an extra blow when you score a critical hit. That's a new term for rolling an unmodified 6 on your hit roll. This will be your go-to adaptation to handle an enemy horde or stoic wall of elite infantry. Lots of people get confused about this and concerned about this. For me, it's super easy to understand, right? You have a critical hit roll and a critical wound roll, right? They are just names for an unmodified hit of 6 and an unmodified wound of 6. That's it. That's it. When you had anti-vehicle in the Terminator datasheet ability that we looked at on Wednesday, and it had anti-vehicle 3+, that means it generates a critical hit on a 3+ rather than just an unmodified 6. It's not hard to understand. A critical hit is a 6 to hit. A critical wound is a 6 to wound. Both unmodified. Super easy, okay? So, at the start of the first battle round, select one of the following hyper adaptations to be active for Tyranid units from your army until the end of the battle. Again, what I do like about this, and I do like about Oath, and although I don't like Oath as a rule, what I like about these is it doesn't select core units on the 3rd battle round at turn 2 on the 4th day of the 5th night in the 6th month of the 7th year. It's just your army, your units. And I like that. So I'll give them some credit with Oath. I like the fact that it's just apply to everything. Done. We don't have to worry about core infantry on a Wednesday. It's not none of that nonsense, right? So, Swarming Instinct. Each time a Tyranid model with its hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an infantry or swarm unit, that attack has a sustained 1 ability. Okay? Now, basically, landing extra blow whenever you score a critical hit. Sustained 1 for this against infantry or swarm is exploding 6s to hit. That's all it is. It's exploding 6s to hit, right? Hyper aggression. Each time Tyranid model with its hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets enemy monster or vehicle unit, that attack has the lethal hits ability. Okay, whatever that means. It's a universal special rule.
I think you're misinterpreting unit. Hopefully it means like this singular unit, not unit this type.
100% it will mean singular unit. Absolutely, it will mean singular unit. But if you have, let's say you're bringing Astra Militarum, and let's say you have 2 Rogel Dawns and a Baneblade, and most people won't do this, to be fair. 2 Rogel Dawns, a Baneblade, 2 Leman Russes, and the rest of your army's infantry. That means your Space Marine player could say, turn 1 it'll be a Rogel Durn, turn 2 it'll be the Baneblade, turn 3 Rogel Durn, turn 4 Leman Russ, turn 5 Leman Russ. Right, that's your 5 big units, the only ones you've got. Everything else is cavalry and infantry and stuff like that. And the whole Space Marine army can reroll all hits and wounds against the Rogel Durn first turn, and then a different unit second turn. And so, I am also assuming, by the way, that they're going to kill that unit in a turn. Because if they don't kill that unit in a turn, it's less impressive. It would then take 2 turns potentially to kill 1 unit. So it does depend on what they do, but potentially they could pick 5 units, reroll all hits and wounds with their whole army, whatever weapons they are, including Eradicators, including Chain Fists, including Terminators, reroll all hits and all wounds, okay, against that particular Rogel Durn that you've picked, then that particular Rogel Durn that you've picked, and that Baneblade that you've picked. It's still really strong. And again, the strength isn't the problem for me. It's what the rule is. Reroll all hits and wounds is just boring to be on the other side of. I'd suggest it's not even that fun for the player rolling it. It's just boring to be on the other side of. Right, so hyper aggression is lethal hits, okay? If you were seeing square brackets and capitalized words like you see here and like you see here, this is now universal special rules. We've worked that out already, right? Square brackets, capital letters, universal special rules. Hive Predators is the 3rd one that you can decide, and you start this at the start of the first battle round as well, which is quite nice. You don't have to select it on your army roster. This is just something that you pick at the start of the battle, and one of the reasons why I really love it is it's so narratively Tyranid. Hive Predators, each time a Tyranid model with this hyper adaptation makes an attack that targets an enemy character unit, if a critical hit is scored, 6 to hit, that attack has the precision ability. We don't yet know what lethal hits and precision is, but it does things and stuff that's universal special rules, and it's nice and clear, and all of your Tyranids do it, and it just targets monsters, vehicles, infantry swarms, or characters. Beautiful. Perfect. Cool. Like it. Okay? If your targets are tough vehicles and monsters, you can instead pick hyper aggression and add lethal hits to attacks against them, meaning you'll automatically wound on a critical hit. There you go. Okay, so sustained hits 1 is exploding 6s, and every 6 to hit scores 1 additional hit because sustain hits 1. Okay, this now tells us that lethal hits is 6s to hit auto wound, born soldiers basically. Okay, so we now know sustain hits is exploding 6s to hit or critical hits, and lethal hits is critical hits auto wound. Easy, really easy. For their army ability, the Tyranids can manipulate battle shock tests with Synapse and Shadow in the Warp, but we'll find out what those do when we have a closer look at the Tyranid faction next month. I'm kind of interested in manipulating battle shock tests for Synapse and Shadow in the Warp, because Synapse typically has always been a thing that benefits Tyranid players, and Shadow in the Warp has been a thing that is a negative impact on enemy players. This just says can manipulate battle shock with Synapse and Shadow in the Warp. So I'm interested in how they implement that. Stratagems and enhancements. This bit got me really excited. Okay, we're back on the up now. Here we go. Back on the up, right? Stratagems and enhancements are also now part of your detachment. In the previous edition, many players found it difficult to juggle and remember 2 or 3 dozen stratagems. Those days are gone. No detachment will contain more than 6 stratagems, and add that to a robust universal menu of 12 core stratagems. This is the first time I think they've told us how many core stratagems there'll be, and there's now simply less to keep track of. That means at any point, no matter what detachment you pick, no matter what army you're playing, you will have 18 stratagems. Done. 18. That's it. Really good. I'm so positive. They've also said something about enhancements, which we'll go on to later, which also excites me, right? Armour of Contempt returns as a stratagem for the Gladius Task Force, the first Space Marine detachment. So we now know Gladius Task Force will be the first detachment, and they will have Oath of Moment. What we don't know is what that detachment special rule is going to be. Again, we know the Tyranid one is going to be the hyper adaptions, but we don't know what the Space Marine one's going to be. But Armour of Contempt is locked to Gladius Task Force. So if you don't have a Gladius Task Force, you don't get access to Armour of Contempt. Okay, beautiful. Again, it does this thing, right, where it tells you what the target is and what the effect is. When your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Super easy. Target. So what's the target of this stratagem? One Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Very easy. So, in your opponent's shooting phase or your opponent's fight phase, he picks units to shoot or fight. You can then pick one of those units that's selected as a target and apply this stratagem effect. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the armor penetration of that attack by 1. Really, 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 really nice. Really, really, really nice, right? So, 12 core, 6 specific to your detachment, which means Space Marine Codex, let's say the Space Marine Codex has 6 detachments, right? That means that inside that codex there will be 36 stratagems, but you'll only get access to 6 of them depending on the detachment that you pick. Really like it. Enhancements replace relics and warlord traits. We've seen previously that each detachment gets access to 4 enhancements. I think you can take 3 of them, maybe 2. I can't remember. I think it said 3.
Did I misread and assume it was 6 total strats/abilities?
Yeah, you missed it. So, yeah. So you get 6 strats from your detachment. You get 12 strats from the core rulebook, so 18 available to any one time. You get 4 enhancements, which comes from your detachment. You get 1 detachment special rule, and you get an army special rule. Are you with me, chat? Have you followed me so far? So you select your faction, Space Marines. You pick your detachment rules. I'm picking Gladius Task Force. I get the Gladius Task Force Army Special Rule, the Gladius Task Force Detachment Special Rule, but I also get Oath of Moment because that's a Space Marine Army Special Rule. I get those 2 special rules, right? I get that. I get access to the Gladius Task Force 6 stratagems and their 4 enhancements. Follow me?
Wonder if these detachments carry tax units.
I kind of hope they do, Dave. And I also hope they change what is classified as battle line. Okay, so enhancements replace warlord traits and relics. So I don't think we're ever going to see 3 warlord traits, 3 relics ever again. I think now, if I remember rightly, you get access to 4 for a detachment, and I think you can select up to 3 to apply to your army enhancements, right? I'm hoping that any one character can only take 1 enhancement, so no longer can you take a warlord trait and a relic on a single character and really make him tankier than the named character that sits in the same slot as him. Okay, that's my hope. Offering a unified list of unique upgrades for each detachment. Unlike stratagems, there are no core enhancements. Each one is tied to a specific detachment for a specific faction, tailored to your roster and abilities. These include refined personal war gear like artificer armor, or tactical... Okay, listen to this one, right? This is another thing that got me very excited. Or tactical talents that allow a commander to enhance the unit that they're leading. So Artificer Armor is an enhancement. A Starty's model only. The bearer has a save characteristic of 2+ and the Feel No Pain 5+ ability. Cool. Super easy, super simple. Like it. 4 enhancements available per detachment, we were told previously, and you get kind of like 3 attached to you. Nice and simple. So you can pick 3. One of them for this particular one, Gladius Task Force. Says in the top corner, if you look up here, where is it? If you look up here, it says Gladius Task Force, right? Gladius Task Force. So you only get hold of this enhancement for Gladius Task Force. It means the 3 rulebooks, warlord traits that no one has ever taken ever are gone. You don't get access to those anymore. They're gone. Okay, which is good because they were a waste of real estate in the rulebook anyway. No one used them. Okay, hold the phone. Did we say leading units? Find out next week here at Warhammer Community. Don't forget to check the hub page for all the latest news. Blah, 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 blah. New 40k. Many old specific unit stratagems have become unit abilities instead. All the flavour, none of the faff. This is what we were talking about with Fury of the First, right? Fury of the First was a stratagem that was used so frequently on Terminators. They've just rolled it into the data sheet. That's a positive move. I don't think we can criticise them for that, right? But that last part really excites me. I think now that characters, look out sir, bodyguard nonsense is all gone, and I think now characters are going to have to join some kind of retinue type unit. And I'm hoping it can be any unit that you want that shares a common keyword like infantry perhaps, I don't know. But I don't now think your Space Marine captain can just wander around in the middle of the table and go, well, that's within 3, and that's within 3, and that's within 3, and that's within 3. So although I'm in the middle in the open, they're all within 3. I'm perfectly safe, right? I feel like now you're going to be able to attach characters to units. Again, this is something that we used to have in 7th edition. In 7th edition, characters used to join units. They did it very, 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 very badly back in 7th edition, to be very clear. They did it very badly back in 7th edition, and you could attach multiple characters to a single unit with loads and loads of abilities stacked and create what we used to know as Death Stars, which was never a nice experience for anybody, with the exception of the player that was using said Death Star. I don't want to go back there, right? I don't want to go back to that particularly, but I do get excited about characters joining units, and then instead of having a like I am this splits people. I'm conscious this might split all 350 of you. 350 people, Luce, only 127 likes. Lazy. Right. This splits people, I get this. I hate auras. I don't like auras. Some auras make sense. A guard commissar leadership aura makes sense. So a guard commissar stands there, and everyone who can see the commissar is too afraid to run away because the commissar will shoot them, makes sense as an order. But things like Space Marine reroll hit rolls of 1, reroll wound rolls of 1 don't make sense as auras. I don't like them. And I hate the way auras make people play with stringing units out so they're just in range of this aura and stringing that unit out so they're just in range of that aura. I would have much preferred for the longest time that if a captain joins the unit, that unit benefits from his captain ability. So that is what I would like to see. And you pick one unit from the ability.
Time to bring even more fun lists to GTS till 10th.
I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be a lot of fun, Will, to be fair. Death Guard Contagion as well. Yes, Death Guard Contagion makes sense as an aura. That makes sense as an aura. But I don't... Some auras, like, they've just... This over-incessant... Like, okay, here's another thing I hate, right? Apothecaries, right? Selfless healer, currently a thing, okay? Everyone takes Primaris Apothecaries with Selfless healer. And you have a unit strung out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models, and the Apothecary's here. And he heals the unit to bring a model back, and that model appears over here, like 9 inches away. Shouldn't... Like, the Apothecary's here. He didn't throw the corpse and reanimate it in the air. He fixed the bloke here. He should be getting up here.
Does that mean chapter tactics are no more?
I think chapter tactics in essence are going to be gone. What I don't know is how they're going to apply the detachment rules. So I feel like if I was GW, here's what I would do. If I was GW, I would look at my chapters, Ultramarines, Blood Angels, etc., etc., and I would make detachment rules for each chapter. Okay, and I would call it something that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be Space Wolves or it has to be Blood Angels or it has to be Ultramarines, but I would name it something that is relevant to that particular chapter potentially, and the fighting style that detachment is trying to show off. What I wouldn't actually do is do Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Space Wolves and Templars in that particular group, simply because I would want to keep them separate because they have their own units. That way, if you have an Ultramarine style detachment, which is essentially their chapter tactic, great. The Ultramarine players have the flavour that they want to run the detachment that they want, and they kind of have a chapter tactic. If, however, a Iron Hands player goes, I prefer that play style, but I like my Iron Hands, the bonus is they can still use that detachment. It's not locked to Ultramarines. And that's the bit that I'm really excited about for players, because some players might not want to run just melee Blood Angels, and now they might have a way of doing this.
I prefer EOS auras requiring units to be wholly inside the aura to actually work instead of just barely touching the edge of it.
Yeah, 100% that's better. Thanks for the dono, man. 100% that's better than the current version. Absolutely it is, but I just don't like auras for everything all the time. I think it was kind of lazily applied, right? Big shout out to Mr. John McCardle, who is clearly out of Google jail again and trying to get himself put straight back into it with a massive 50 gifted memberships. If you've just been gifted a membership from John, please say thank you to him in chat because he's an absolute hero. And if you have been gifted a membership by John, please also make sure you use it. We have a great and incredible Discord server and community of people that I'm very proud of. We have content that is locked for chat to members only. And if you want to upgrade your membership, we've got giveaways and we've got WhatsApp chats and all kinds of stuff. So you've now been given the leg up that you need to potentially pay for an upgrade if you really, really want to. But use it, because there's so many people that are taking the membership and going, I want to keep hold of this. I really want to keep hold of this. So that's cool. Soup says, yep, exactly what I think they'll do, but also maybe specific chapter detachments that work like Army Renown too. Oops, all death company. Well, I think that they might have to do that as well, Soups, because named chapter characters. So I feel like if they don't do that, like this is the only way you can take Ultramarine named characters is this particular detachment, maybe there's a bit of abuse there.
I hope they don't do the special chapter units as they did the Cadian troops, Krieg troops, etc. in Guard.
I mean, there's a way they could do it though. By the way, thanks for everyone. I abused you all for not liking the stream, and we shot up to 181 likes. Look at you amazing people. This is where Luce tells me she hasn't liked it yet.
Oh no, I haven't. Hang on. 182. I was number 182.
Fucking hell.
I got one in.
Honestly, chat, it's hard work over here. But yeah, I don't know if I do or don't like that, Chris Joss. Like, I'm really intrigued.
I want to know about how physical powers are going to work in 10th. Who is playing who next week and which armies?
I don't know. Let's have a look. See if Brom's done the scheduling already. Brom is our project manager of the schedule. I'm going to open the schedule right now on my little spreadsheet. And we'll have a look and drum roll. What is next week? What's the date?
Next week?
Next week is the 11th and the 13th. On the 11th, it's me and Joe. On the 13th, it's Joe and Brom. On the 11th, he's put in Aldari versus Flesh Terrors. And on the 13th, he's put Tyranids versus Imperial Knights. There you go. The week after is then me and Joe again, and then me and Eddie. Ugh. 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 There you go, Big Bad Peter Gaming. Thanks for the super chat. You're a hero. Love you. Reroll to hit and shooting aura from a tech marine would make more sense than from a captain. Nick, I agree with you. I like the idea of my Tau commander rocking up with Crisis Group, all Power Rangers. Like so name. All right, let's go back to name characters. Space Marine name characters or name characters from any specific dynasty or whatever is interesting. Historically, years and years ago, I think you could just run them in any unit you wanted, in any army you wanted, pretty much, and it wouldn't matter. And you could have this. Like, I don't dislike the idea potentially of seeing an army on the tabletop that has Gulliman fighting alongside Dante and other chapters. because narratively Space Marine chapters are often fighting alongside one another. I'm not 100% against that. I mean, it would be bad if there's some absolutely meta choices out there and you just see the Gulliman and Lion, and I don't think you'll be able to do that because they'll be like Primarch Lord of War things. And we also don't know how they're going to apply this named character rule just yet. But I kind of not against seeing a mishmash of chapter colours on the table that operate under a single army doctrine and army detachment rule. I'm kind of all for that. I think that's quite cool. Which is sort of how they do it with the Guard to a point. But I don't know how they are going to do it. I feel like that's the only way they can do it, with the simplification of detachments, unless they bring out detachments for chapters.
Better not lose advance and charge for Corsairs.
Be prepared. So unless they bring out a detachment-specific special rule for Gullyman, like an army or renown, like Soup said, which I feel like they won't do. And the only reason why I feel like they won't do that is they made a point in a previous article that stated that whichever chapter you are, you can use whichever detachment you want. You're not restricted by the colour of your army. So the only reason why I don't know if we will see chapter-specific army rules is because they've kind of gone down this, doesn't matter what colour your army is, you can kind of do what you want. Okay? I don't think tying named characters to detachments is necessary for balance. Imagine giving Blood Angels the ability to take Tor Garadon. He's not going to break them. Well, no. Will chaos are being teabagged, says Dave. I will be there, says Schooner. What for? Oh, GHG.
Yeah, great.
Have we sold any more tickets yet?
I don't know. I'm kind of asking Rupert for an update sort of every month or so. So we're not quite there on the monthly annoyance yet.
Ready for the drum roll, and there we've sold one more ticket. Yay!
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. It's
one more
fine.
ticket. We can afford to have breakfast now.
Tis what it is.
Yeah! Exclamation mark GHG if you want to come and hang off us for Element Games, right? Maybe we've been misinterpreting the one named character thing to prevent you from taking multiple named characters in the first place. Well, that's why I said that, Reckless, in the first instance, and I got slammed for it. Went, you're a fucking idiot. It just says one of each named character, which just means you can only take one Gulliman and one Abaddon. So I don't know. I was kind of thinking that there might be some restrictions in place on named characters in a particular 2,000 point army. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if the named guys will be epic heroes. I think they will. Yeah. I don't even like taking named characters generally. Personally, it messes with my own little narrative story. I do like named models that do epic shit though. Okay. Controversial opinion here, chat. Don't hate me. Controversial opinion. I want models of named characters simply because I want to be able to have that character as part of my force. I don't want named characters on my tabletop. So I don't mind an avatar. I don't necessarily want a Gulliman or an Eldrad.
Oath of Moment is too strong. I know you said it's the relentless rolling, but in all honesty, if I'm running Crisis, Riptide, Broadsides, Ghost Code, I wonder where the Oath is going each turn, ha ha.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Now there is potentially a slight balance here with Games Workshop's announcement that they're significantly reducing the lethality of the edition. So if you think about applying Oath in 9th currently, you think, fuck, I'm going to get murdered here. I'm going to get absolutely murdered. But if they do significantly reduce the lethality and improve the durability in 10th, maybe it's not that bad. Okay. Maybe. The thing with Oath is faction keywords. So Terminators have Oath of Moment. No, Oliver, no. The whole army gets access to Oath of Moment. What Terminators gain is reroll, is +1 to hit. I'm pretty sure, because the Oath of Moment ability on, I say this like I know, I don't know. Right, maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong. But the thing is on here, it says, if your army is adept to start, is at the start of your command phase, select one unit from your opponent's army. Each time a model from your army with this ability. Oh, it actually says with this ability. Maybe then. So maybe tanks don't have Oath of Moment. Maybe we're okay there. Maybe, actually, Oliver's right, and it's not that bad. Thank you, Oliver. I appreciate you.
You think divergent chapters like Blood Angels and Space Wolves would be in the normal Marine Codex? Feels like them getting their own books makes sense.
So Scott, I think they'll still get the rest. First of all, a huge shout out to you for your first ever super chat. I think they'll still get their own book, and the reason why I think they'll still get their own book is because they have unique units. So I think they'll still get their own book. I don't think they'll be rolled in the main one. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, here's an interest. So he's Oliver got it right. Oath of Moment is a datasheet ability. This. I don't like this now. This is now like having Koroi all over again, but they've called it something different. Okay, so the sky isn't falling like we thought it might be with Oath. Maybe it's not going to be that bad. Still hate the fact that it's all rerolls, hits and wounds.
As a new World Eaters player, Angron will never see turn 3 with Oaths of the Moment. Neither will Avatar. But you know what? 10 still sounds
Well,
amazing.
with Oliver's catch right there, maybe, just maybe, Rhino, it's not as bad as we thought. However, I was excited because we hadn't seen Core anywhere. And now they've put Oath of Moment on data sheets. And if you've got Oath of Moment, you get access to the rule. The one thing I will give them, the little bit of credit I will say is, if it's Oath of Moment means you get Oath of Moment, rather than Core means you get this, and this means it's clearer, it's easier, right? It's easier. But I was actually giving them kudos at the start of the stream for just applying everything to everything because it's simpler. Interesting. Changed holiday from April to May. I'm on hold the 2 weeks before. What's this for, Ozzy?
Great Hall Gathering.
Well, we'll change it again then, all right?
Oh, Dave B's just admitted he's staying in a 1-star hotel.
Called the Ram and Shackle, £10 a night.
I hope he's joking.
Oh, fuck off. What? 10? It's not £10 a night, is it? Surely not.
That
You
hotel's
can't.
going to sell out in no time now.
I had to. What I've discovered is
Yeah.
Joe is actually more expensive than having children.
Right.
How many of you in chat right now?
No, it's not. If you look at Terminator datasheet, the Oath of Moment is on faction rule.
Yeah. So it doesn't apply to everything. Oliver's caught it. Thank you, Chris Joss. Maybe it's not as bad. Like I said, maybe sky's not falling. Although I hate the fact that there is now kind of a keyword interaction system. I was kind of hoping we were going to avoid that. Right, how many of you in chat? 370 people in chat. How many of you in chat are going to Warhammer Fest? How many going to Warhammer Fest? I'm going. I'm only allowed to go for the Saturday. I'm not allowed to go for the Sunday, am I?
Nope.
Oh, I keep trying. We could just move our anniversary dinner.
No.
Games Workshop, if you're watching, and Frontline Gaming for that matter, can you stop booking things on important fucking dates for me? Last year's Heresy announcement was on my friend's wedding that I was a best man at. And then LVO's on your birthday. And now Warhammer Fest on our wedding anniversary.
But 2026 is looking good for LVO.
LVO, I mean,
We've been through this.
I'm going to need the time to save anyway, right? Okay, right. 3 shots an entry. Nope, I am. Good. Okay, so, right. So Joe is also going to Warhammer Fest.
Uh-huh.
So Joe's lovely girlfriend bought him tickets to Warhammer Fest for the whole weekend as I think a Christmas present. Might have been birthday. Can't remember. His birthday's December like mine. So he is coming to Warhammer Fest. And he's coming for the GT, which is 3 games on the Saturday, 3 games on the Sunday, 3 games on the Monday.
Oh, no.
Because she bought him a fancy ticket.
Oh, no.
Because it was his birthday present, right?
That's a lot.
In true Joe fashion,
Yeah.
it's the 7th of April.
Yeah.
Warhammer Fest starts on the 29th of April, so you need to be up there on the Friday the 28th to be ready in the morning.
Uh-huh.
It's Manchester. From where we are here, it's a 4-hour drive, right?
Yeah.
Liam texts Joe, "Hey Joe, have you sorted yourself out your hotel for Warhammer Fest?" "No, I'm just going to put a mattress in my car." "What?" "Yeah, I'll just put a mattress in my car." "What do you mean you're going for a whole weekend in a room full of sweaty men, Joe?" "Yeah,
Plus, the game you're going to play 9 games of is tactical.
The RAM is legendarily shocking. Good luck.
Oh, no, it's a real place?
So, legendarily shocking. Amazing. Stick Monkey sounds like he's been there before.
I'll be real, Liam. Now I need to hear the rest of all the army rules. I'll have blue
Yeah,
balls
it's fair.
until
I mean,
then.
again, there's a lot of this is us speculating and looking at it in a vacuum at the moment. And it's quite hard. I'm on the 90% still excited. Like, and I've been between the 90 and 100% the whole time. And seeing today, so Oath, I'm a little bit happier that it doesn't necessarily apply to every unit in the army, as Oliver caught it and as Chris just has pointed out. I'm sort of sad that it's still all rerolls though, and sad that it now introduces kind of a weird keyword interaction. But yeah, you're right though, Rhino. We need to see everything, right? So he's like, "I'm just going to put a mattress in the car." "What do you mean put a mattress?" He said, "Yeah." I said, What do you mean sleep in the car? Like it's 4 days, Joe. You go up on the Friday, come home on the Monday. You went, that's fine. So what are you going to do about washing? He's like, I'll park near a gym. I was like, so? He says, in the morning, I'll just go in the gym, use their toilet and shower, and then go to Fest.
He's better off parking in the services.
Well, I can't have Joe living in his car for a weekend, representing me.
Well, also, wouldn't Warhammer World staff, when they get to close the car park, wouldn't they knock on his door?
Well, no, because he's gonna go off and park near a gym, isn't he? So he can wash in their bathroom.
Yeah, all right.
Taking my boy on Saturday as we are in Stockport, so looking forward to it.
Amazing. I'm going to be there on the Saturday as well. I'm only there for the Saturday. I'm going to go up on the Friday evening. I've got a hotel for the Friday night, and I'll be there on the Saturday day for as long as I can get away with before I need to come home. Depending on my mode of transport will also depend on how early I leave. If I drive up, I'll leave a bit later. If I'm riding up, I might leave a bit earlier. Depends if I want to really risk a 4-hour ride. I kind of want to do it for the experience.
Yeah.
But it might be silly on a naked bike. Anyway, back to the Joe story. Come on, Joe's the reason why we're all here. But yeah, Gordon, come say hello. If you see me, come and say hello, all right? So I was like, I can't have Joe representing the channel sleeping in a fucking car like a hobo, washing in some gym, which he might or might not be allowed into. Bearing in mind, most gyms now require key fobs and stuff.
That's why I said services. Because when you get your lorry drivers, they sometimes have a shower room. So
today, we spent nearly £400 booking Joe a hotel room.
Just Joe?
Just Joe, yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, because he needs Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. It's 3 nights, loose. In Manchester, that's in, 21 days?
Joseph. How does he function as an adult, honestly?
So, chat, if you want to, there's 350 people in chat right now. If each one of you was to donate £2... We're about £3 after YouTube's cut. I might just about get to cover Joe's fucking hotel room for Warhammer Fest. The thing is, right, I think it was a birthday or Christmas. Let's say birthday. I think it was a birthday present. It was a birthday present from his missus. I can't have him go, here's my exciting birthday present. I'm sleeping in my car. That's just a bit naff. The hotels around there are not cheap. I mean, it's not. If you think about the fact that it's 3 nights with a king-size bed, I mean, it's the cheapest room they had, quite honestly. You could get this as well, right? I've booked him into the Ibis because it was the cheapest I could find that was nearby. And it was, you could either have a single room with a single bed or a single room with a king bed.
Okay.
And they were the same price.
What?
Yep.
Obviously you're going to go for the king then.
I'm not sure how comfortable Joe would be in a single bed.
Where is your hotel? Give me a shout if you need some local knowledge.
So Joe's hotel is the Ibis. I booked 1 night, so I went slightly more expensive because I'm staying for 1 night and I'm driving a long way for it. And mine is the Hyatt Regency. How about that?
The lowest star hotel I've ever bought, I think it was a 2-star in the centre of London. And then I was taken off of hotel privileges.
Yes, you're banned from booking hotels.
I went to the hotel and the front desk guy had some questionable windows up on his computer. Not my business, whatever gets you through the night shift.
Yeah, of course.
And then he led me and my friend down to like a basement room where he was like, this is where breakfast will be. And I was like, oh my God, I've willingly walked down to the basement of a dodgy 2-star hotel.
There's chains on the wall.
When will I learn? And then he gave me a history lesson on something about World War II. And I was like, I'm really tired. I don't want to be rude, but I'm super tired. Been on a coach a long time. And then he was like, shall I show you up to your room? And we were like, no, thank you. We can find it.
The thing is...
Do not come up here.
I am unfortunate. I get this is a me problem, chat, right? I get it. I'm a bit of a hotel snob.
I don't think it's necessarily a hotel snob. I think it's the fact you have kids.
So
I need your sleep.
No one tell Joe parking in town is more expensive than a hotel.
So if my hotel doesn't come with free parking, which I found out is now £15 a day, the hotel I booked Joe does have free parking.
Okay.
And it's walking distance from Warhammer Fest.
So you're going to park at
Rams
Joe's
Lodge Fund.
So I might park at Joe's. No, I can't park at Joe's hotel because you have to give in your. Yeah, I just have to pay the £15. It's not a problem. It's not a problem, right? But I'm a bit of a hotel snob because. Oh, hang on.
Joe Health and Safety Fund.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Fesh Mom. Oh, here it goes. They're actually doing it. They're going to cover the hotel at this rate.
Aw.
Buy a carrot. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe.
Thank you, John. You're a hero. You've already
That's
gifted
a
50.
good
Stop it. Pack it in.
idea.
Put your wallet away now. Do as you're told. Do as you're told, John. No more of that.
Caravan's a good idea.
A Great Hall tour bus. James, thank you for the poo.
That should be your very own Lehman Russ.
A Great Hall tour bus.
Yeah.
We could do that. With a gaming table in it.
You have to blue tap all your models.
Joe's Hotel Fund.
We could do a Great Hall camper van with a gaming board in the back.
What
And we
would
could go on tour.
You'd have to call the caravan something. So it needs its own themed name.
We'd have to call it our own longboat.
For Joe.
I found out, Liz. Don't tell chat. But the second you mention Joe being in distress, that's it then.
That's it.
They like Joe more than us. It's
Get
truth.
Joe out from the streets fund.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever actually truly get him out from the street, Nordost. But, you know, thank you. You're a hero.
Well, I stayed at a hostel for my holiday last year.
Joe's Hotel.
And
Thank you, Cheap Avenger, for the big one as well. What a legend. Thanks for the 20.
the thing that tipped me over was the shared bathroom. Because I was like, ultimately it's a bed
No, no,
and a toilet and a bathtub.
no,
Really, that's all you really need.
no.
Joe Fund.
Thank you, John, for the 10. You're a hero. John, pack it fucking in now.
But the thing, and I remember talking to you about it, of like, I don't like the idea that if I need a wee at 3 in the morning, I have to...
Tell him to enjoy the ramshackle on me. Thanks, Nick. You're a legend.
Thanks, Nick. You're a legend. Tell him to... That's 3 nights in the Ramshackle, that is, Nick, apparently.
Chipperito, the Lehman Bus.
Joe Hotel Fund.
The Lehman Bus is a great name.
Saturday and Sunday. Got to fly back to the US on Monday.
You're going to be there. I'll be at Warhammer Festival Saturday. Again, come and find me. I'll be the loud, obnoxious one with the big beard.
Hobo Joe Hotel Fund.
Thank you. So, look at you people. Right, I mean, this is the rest of the stream now. This is
Yeah.
easy.
Well, I'm off then.
Yeah.
Let this tick.
We're done. I get my next bottle open.
Yeah, so the thing that tipped me over was in the ensuite
I
bathroom.
hope you are pimping Joe out to pay for the hotel.
That's what we're doing right now. Literally right now. It's exactly what's happening at the moment, Ozzy.
I do think I have a ceiling of like a hotel snobbery.
Ram Fund.
Ram for I thought it said rum fund. I was like, I haven't had the rum for a while actually.
I don't think, because the 2-star hotel in London was a little bit dodgy, I don't think I'd ever go as low as 2 stars again. I don't think.
Buy a caravan.
Buy a caravan's a great idea.
I don't think I'd ever need a 5-star ever.
Have you ever
'Cause
stayed in a 5-star?
No, but I think some of it is a bit like pompery.
Until you've done it.
Really?
For Joe and Happy Easter.
Thank you so much. But when my old business, but thank you
It's
so much,
the
Big One.
mattresses.
When my old job used to let me book hotels, I used to book the most expensive one it would allow me. And some of those hotels were super, super fancy.
Hashtag help for OS Hotel Fund.
Help for hotel. Thanks, Kuna. You're a hero. She maxed that one right, didn't she?
It's the mattresses. No matter how posh the hotel is or isn't, they all have the single mattresses put together to make a double.
No.
Pisses me off.
I
Joe may look like a hobo. He sold not have to live like one. Love you all.
Thanks so much, Abe Dominus Locks. No, I've been to plenty of hotels where it's a single mattress. I've been to hotels that have got memory foam mattresses similar to the one we've got upstairs.
Joe Hotel Fund.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for your first ever super chat as well, you hero. What a fucking legend. What a legend. This kind of backfired a little bit because I can't get my words out now. I want to talk about hotels and me being a hotel snob, and they're not letting me. I'm not allowed to talk.
You're not the boss of me. Unlocked room service for Joe.
He wouldn't have room service though. This is the thing, John. He'd take that. He would just go and buy McDonald's chili cheese bites for breakfast, and then he'd pocket the rest. That's what he does.
You should defo at the Salisbury at Oxford Road Station. It's a proper rock pub.
The Salisbury at Oxford Road Station. Defo at the Salisbury at Oxford Road Station. I love the idea of a rock pub.
Joe's Benevolent Fund.
I guess you're a hero, thank you. And look at these beautiful people. By the way, Cyanide is my favourite at the moment. The only one that thought of me.
Yeah.
And all that ranting.
Joe's ramshackle.
Thanks, Rimney. Hero. Love you. 335 people watching, 239 likes. Come on. We can get it to the same. Same, but different.
My hotel for this holiday's slightly
LOL. Let Joe sleep in the car and have him make a vlog will be cheaper and you get some adrenaline. Just imagine the donations you get then out of that video.
We could do a proper sob story, couldn't we? So it all was like black and grey of Joe living in his car.
Liam parking fund.
See, Cyanide, look at that. The only one who thought of me. You can stay. You're allowed to stay, Cyanide. You're the only one that's allowed to stay, right? Oh, come on, people. Jesus Christ.
Luce can't leave without an obscure egg fact.
That's true. I can't leave a single room without an obscure egg fact.
You do like your obscure egg facts. Yeah. Right, one more to go. One more to go, and then we can carry on. So,
Hotels in UK and Ireland are overpriced.
They are indeed. This hype train is wild, yeah. I haven't used hype trains for ages. It's a Twitch thing. Anyway, so I'm a bit of a hotel snob. We'll get back on this now, 20 minutes later, after Amy shut up. Typical woman, once you get started. Right. I'm a bit of a hotel snob, and I know you weren't for the longest time, but there's a reason for it, right? So let's take Warhammer Fest as an example. I'm going to drive or ride 4 hours at least, probably longer because it's a Friday journey, to get to Manchester. Okay, when I get there, I am inevitably going to be meeting up with some other people that I know in the community, going for dinner, maybe having a few beers, right? I then go to my hotel room. The next morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to Fest for the day, and I'm going to spend the whole day on my feet talking to lots of people.
Luce's wine and chocolate.
Schooner thinks of you, Luce. What a hero. So I'm gonna spend the whole day talking and interacting and being on my feet and moving around. By the end of Saturday, by the time I'm ready to drive home, I'm gonna be knackered. Okay, I'm gonna be so tired. Then I'm gonna drive or ride that 4 hours back again. Okay, so that's a long 24 to 48 hour period. I'm gonna be very tired. So I want the bit where I rest to be the most comfortable it can possibly be. Because that's the only bit that I'm resting on.
Yeah.
So I want to be comfortable, and comfortable means a bit of space, decent temperature, a comfortable bed, a nice bathroom. I don't just need to be gold taps and shit.
I figure everyone else has Joe's room sorted. Putting this towards the Make Liam Feel Special Again fund.
Soups, love you. So everything else, are you going to be there Saturday, Soups? I'm sure you said you were going. So it doesn't need to be gold-plated taps and fancy fucking teas. I don't care about that. I need a comfortable bed, and I need a decent shower. I cannot tell you how many hotels I've been to where the shower's like being pissed on by a fucking 5-year-old. Like, how can so many hotel rooms, right?
I wonder if it's because they share the water supply through so many rooms.
Rant time, okay? Hotel rooms. Hotel rooms need 2 things. A bed and a bathroom. That's all they need. Right? I've been to so many hotel rooms that have got an impressive 47-inch TV on the wall, but a terrible shower. I don't care about the TV. Give me the good shower. I just want to be clean.
Man, some of the reviews on the RAM, good read. It's juicy reading.
And if you're paying £100+, which is quite typical for a hotel room in this country, and they are expensive in this country, unfortunately, you're paying £100+ for a hotel room, you expect a semi-comfortable bed. It doesn't need to be a £10,000 Dreams memory foam cooling mattress that hugs you as you sleep. But it just needs to be comfortable. It needs to be not some of the things that we've experienced, where if one of us gets in the bed, the other one takes off. Like, we don't want that. It just needs to be a comfortable fucking bed. I don't want to wake up in the morning seasick, because I'm like this all night.
Joe's Gooch Wash Fund. If it's as thick as his beard, he needs this.
He does. A Gooch Wash Fund. It is not something I thought I'd ever see on stream. Vero, thank you so much for your donation.
Unless I'm on a proper hole, I'm a hotel peasant. If I'm somewhere one night, as long as there's a bed and no bodily fluids encrusted on the wall, I'm golden.
That's not guaranteed, Leaks, is it?
My hotel in
Brum's scheduling fund.
They didn't like the fact that I had a platform for a minute to rant, so they just decided to keep interrupting me again.
My hotel in York was like a hotel/hostel, and I had my fear realised. Somebody tried.
After seeing Joe's face last night on stream, he needs a nice hotel room.
He does need a nice hotel room.
Somebody tried to get in my room in the night, and it's that you hear the door being tried in your sleep, and as you slowly come round.
Yeah.
Can't let Joe sleep in his car in Manchester. He'd get to D.
What's that? TWOC?
To be fair, right, chat, you're being amazing. To be fair, I've already paid for his hotel room because I couldn't have him sleeping in his car. I didn't really want to spend £400 on a hotel room, but we need to look after Joe. Joe is a national treasure. We've been through this in the Discord. Joe is a national treasure. We need to look after him. He's also quite a delicate flower. He doesn't look like it, but he is a delicate flower. We have to look after him. And he's...
I stayed at a 5-star near the GMX on Monday night. Bed was so bad, I'm still crippled. I'm normally good at hotel shopping.
See, it was always a lottery. So Joe, I mean, to be fair, I got to know Joe and started working with him because I thought he was a laugh and he was good. And over the course of the last year...
In the US, our hotels are under 200 years old and the water pressure is usually awesome.
All right, Flex. We'll bring one of your hotels to Warhammer Fest then,
Yeah,
Mordy
shut
Hammer.
up, Mordy.
Yeah.
We like our rich history. Even though we moan about it.
We do. What was I saying? So yes, fuck, words and stuff and junk. Joe, treasure, delicate flower. What was I saying? Yeah, so when I started working, oh, fuck off.
You woke up sick the morning after Rock City.
Yeah, something in that food, I reckon, Darren. It wasn't the pub and then Rock City until 4 o'clock in the morning. In fact, I was fine until I got to Warhammer World. I sat at Warhammer World, I was like, I'm feeling quite unwell. I went out in the car park to just make some space for dinner.
What you did?
Yeah.
When was that?
That was years and years and years ago when I first met Waller and went to Nottingham for a lads' weekend on the piss. And we drank many different things in one night.
Why is it any time that name comes up, there's usually a vomit story?
I miss Waller. I need to get hold of him because we need to go on the piss again at some point. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, we started working together like a year ago because I thought it was fun and he was a laugh. I was like, come on stream a couple of times. And then he started to work with me, and it was a semi-professional relationship. Joe has rapidly, he won't watch this, so it doesn't matter. Joe has rapidly become one of my closest friends because he's just a good human being. Isn't he? He's just a nice, wholesome, good human being. He doesn't want for anything.
Who's this?
Joe.
Yeah.
He doesn't want for anything. He doesn't expect anything. He never asks for anything. He's just a nice person to be around. And somehow, if you know anything about Joe, I'm not going to give too much away because it's not my place, but if you know anything about Joe, then he has on occasion been dealt a shit hand. And somehow that man continuously walks around with a smile on his face.
10th wonder of world.
Joe is the 10th wonder of the world. He somehow walks around with a smile on his face all the fucking time. He's just always chipper, well, with the exception at the end of last night's chat place when he wasn't quite so happy. He was significantly more grumpy. But on the whole, he walks around with a smile on his face and he's chipper. And that's why Joe is a national treasure, because he's one of those British, just carry on, just keep going, I'll always find the funny in it somewhere.
Here is the hotel that our lovely Dave B is staying in. I shall read you a review.
Okay.
And see if you want to put Joe in this hotel.
Go for it.
The review is titled Character Building.
Oh.
There was a sign saying, please leave your towel over the towel rail for the cleaner to collect and replace. There was no towel rail and no cleaner, just about summed it up. The door didn't lock and the shower didn't work. The burglar alarm went off one night, and the other night there were people shouting and banging on the doors. The area was dodgy, and we were so concerned about our door that wouldn't lock that we barricaded it with a chair and drank ourselves to sleep. Seems like a front for a drug business or something. The 2 members of staff at the front desk were nice, though.
Sounds like a top place.
That's a 1-star review.
Yeah, so Joe's incredible. So I was like, when I messaged him today about what hotel, because I booked one night because I can't stay for 2 nights. So I probably could have stayed for the Saturday night. I felt like I'd have been in trouble if I came home on our anniversary. So I made the frankly wise decision to come back on the Saturday night so that I spend the whole of our anniversary together on the Sunday. And it was just when I messaged him, I was like, what hotel are you staying in? I haven't booked one. I'm going to sleep in a car and wash in a gym. The only time Joe goes to the gym is to wash.
Well, it's either the car or this place. I'll take the car.
No, it's okay. We've sorted him out now. I bought him a hotel because he's worth it. He's like L'Oreal, right? He's like L'Oreal. Oh, Wallace in chat. Hey man, that was absolutely nothing to do with me. You lying bastard. But we do need to find a gig somewhere sometime soon that we can meet up at. and have a hotel room and drink much beer. We need to do that. I stayed in the Empress in Victoria, BC. It was quite nice. But yeah, so back to hotel rants. Back to that one, right? I don't ask for a lot in a hotel room. I need to not be sweating. So I did complain a little bit when I went to the to No Retreat when it was at the retreat centre because it's in Gibraltar, which is a hot place.
Yeah. And
the hotel rooms didn't have air conditioning. That's a problem. When you go to sleep wetter than you are when you're in the shower, that's a problem, right? So all I want from my hotel room is I want it reasonably well maintained as a temperature. I don't want to be shivering my nuts off, nor do I want to feel like my bed is a fucking slip and slide because I'm sweating so much. That's rule number one. Temperature control.
Sexy, babe.
Right? And you can, it's not hard. Air conditioning. It's a thing. It exists. Every fucking building in America's got it. How come we're so far behind? Air conditioning. Super easy, right? Secondly, a comfortable bed. We've been through this. I don't want some semi-deflated bouncy castle to be my mattress. Right? So when my wife gets up for a pee in the middle of the night and gets back into bed, I'm not concerned about hitting the ceiling.
I don't know if that's a slight on my weight or the bed.
No, it's not a slight on your weight, it's the bed. It's the fact that I wake up in the morning literally fucking seasick because I've been bobbing around all night. And not for a reason men normally like bobbing around all night. Okay? So that's rule number 2, right? Rule number 3, if you're going to put tea and coffee in the room, expect a person to have more than 1/2 a cup of tea between 2 people.
It's the little milk thing.
It's one little milk thing, one sugar. You're like, well, that was good for a slurp. So if you get to your room and you have you're like, we got to the room, we've just got here, we've travelled a long way, we've stopped in our hotel room, we're now going to have a cup of tea. We've had a cup of tea. You wake up the next morning, oh, it's the morning, I fancy a cup of tea. Oh, there's nothing left. We used it in our one brew that we had.
We had a air quotes family room when we went to see my family, and the bathroom situation was interesting. I was in the shower, and I turn around because I was washing my hair, and there's our oldest son having a wee, and all they've got is this like frosted glass wall, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
great.
So,
okay, James, would you mind leaving the room?
So rule number 4, that's the tea, right? The next one is the shower. Right, this is a personal bugbear. Right? And there's 2 things that annoy me about it, right? The first thing is I don't want to get into the bathtub or shower and walk on the matted carpet of 1,000 people's pubes. It's not hard to make sure they're cleaned away before the next guests come in there, right? I don't need a carpeted bathtub. That's not a requirement. And then when I do turn said shower on, I would like more than just a little dribble on my face. As it dribbles down you, and like, oh, I've got to move the water around. Fuck the soap.
How do you think I feel? There's conditioner.
And they give you these fancy bars of, soap, and it's like they put them there like you're never going to use these because you literally can't get enough water to lather the soap up. That's why you take the soap home, because you're like, I'll actually finally fucking use this when I've got some water. It's like being on water rations. I cannot. I went to one of the last hotels I was in. Right, I turned the shower on. Right, there's this little like fucking silver shower head thing above me there. I turned the shower on, and the water pissed off that way and that way, but not this way. I was stood there, and I was in the dry bit. That's not a shower. That's not a shower.
You should just have a bath.
Other ones they've been on, and they might as well have literally ran a fucking hose pipe from the outdoor service tap and just hung it there. It just hits you with this fat feet, like this is just this stream of water. Just like it's not a shower has a head that sprays water over you.
Oh.
Fucking grips me. You've paid 100, and the thing is, right, we're in the UK as well, chat, right? We're British people, right? Now, some of you probably are already aware of this, but there's this thing about the British stiff upper lip, and what fucks me off the most, and I do this, right? So I'm now ranting about myself, is you'll have this whole experience where you've been able to have 3/4 of a cup of lukewarm tea, you've been on a bouncy castle bed all night, you've been dribbled on by your shower, it's been too hot, so even after you've showered, you've sweated so much, I mean, you didn't need a shower, quite frankly, or that wet already, right? And then you go down to the receptionist. You put your bags in the car. You go for your breakfast. You get some fucking poached egg that you could bounce off the wall and catch in your mouth because it's that rubbery. Not Japanese for nice, by the way. You right? You eat the rest of your food, and then you walk out, and they go, "Was everything okay?" And you go, "Yeah, lovely, thanks." No, it wasn't. It's like Helga's House of Pain. I don't want to ever come back. Yeah, lovely, thanks. That was lovely. No, it wasn't. It was shit. And I paid £135 for the privilege. This is what?
There's quite the criteria to fill, chat.
It's not. It's a hotel. I need a comfy bed and a good shower.
It's too much to ask. If you want those things, stay at home. Commute.
So yeah, that's why I'm a shower snob. But I'm a hotel snob ultimately, right?
What's Premier in Stockport?
That's a super chat. She'll read that out for you.
Yeah, I know. How would you rate that hotel?
It depends on what room you get. So one room we had, the last room Lucy and I had in, so she's going to read it out. We're already answering your question, Big Bad Pit Gaming. We always stay in Premier Inn Stockport South when we go to Element. The reason being is it's literally over the road.
What's Premier in Stockport?
We're getting there, right? So we literally stay there because it's over the road. And the reason why we stay there because it's over the road is because I go into Elements Bar and we try and drink it dry. And so it's a very short distance to go to. Some of you might be aware, I enjoy a good drink, right? It might be the 10-year military man in me and then the rugby club, but I like a good drink, right? So when we went last time, we actually had quite a nice room. It was quite clean. The bed was average. The shower didn't dribble on me. And there was 4 tea bags. I feel like somewhere we got charged extra. So it wasn't that bad. The one that we stayed in the year before, which was in the same hotel, it smelled, the room was, it smelled like Sex and Fear. It wasn't.
For me, smells is the thing.
Jesus, how do you really feel?
It's been a while since we've had a good rant stream, I feel. Right? I feel like it's been a while since we've had a good rant stream.
My thing with hotel rooms is smells. If I walk in,
I think you have broken loose.
If I walk in and I can smell anything like stale cigarette smoke, then I struggle to really settle. Because I think I'm a non-smoker, so I can really smell it.
Yeah.
And then it's someone's been smoking in this room. Who was that? Was that the customer or the cleaner? And if it's the cleaner, why were you smoking in the room? What haven't you done because you took a cigarette break? It's
not terrible. Even then, when it was a bit of a weird smell to it, the room was comfy enough. It's a Premier Inn though. They just have standard like bulk buy mattresses. I often find actually some of the weirdest mattresses and shower experiences I've ever had are the hotel rooms that aren't like a Premier Inn or a travel lodge or something because they don't bulk buy all from one place.
Yeah, I find the quaint B&Bs because they try and make each individual room individual. Whereas
that
Premier
hotel
Inns have like a set standard.
Last year, we stayed in that hotel for my friend's wedding when I was the best man. There was that old classical building.
Yeah.
And that was one of the weird, like, it's
awful.
like, well, you walk towards the room and it got smaller. I felt like if I don't stop, I'm going to get stuck.
I feel like I'm Alice in Wonderland.
Last time I was at Pie Stockport, I watched you eat.
Kinky bitch. Oh, Lewin's in chat. Hey man, how you doing? We need to hear what Liam thinks about hotels that also have mini roundabouts in front of them. Why do we have roundabouts?
Calm traffic down.
No, they're shit. You don't need roundabouts. You don't need roundabouts in this country. America gets on just fine with limited to no roundabouts. You don't need roundabouts. Like the source of all accidents in this country is roundabouts. They're full of fucking lunatics. No one truly knows how to use them. At least more often than not, it's just one big roundabout. Like them stupid fucking things in, where was that place? Hemel Hempstead, was it? And Swindon?
Oh, the Star.
Oh my God.
As others have said, we need a Liam and Joe travel show, going around the UK and reviewing hotel rooms.
We're gonna do something like that, I reckon, called Jogglebox, a new channel. Jogglebox is the new channel, Umbra. That's what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna do Jogglebox. We need to make enough money to hire a film crew. I honestly think there's money in this, by the way. We'll hire a film crew just to follow me and Joe going places. I think there's money in that. I reckon there's gold in them there hills. Oh shit, we jumped the schedule. California has roundabouts now. Don't do it, America. Don't do it.
Don't
Roundabouts is a worse decision than Donald Trump. Don't do it. Don't do it, America.
Do you remember your sat-nav for a long time was Irish, and every time she said roundabout, we'd be there for an hour going roundabout.
Roundabout. Well, it worked out the way you do the Northern Irish accent is you just replace every O with an I. Try it now, chat at home, right? Replace an O, so roundabout. Replace the O's with I's.
Roundabout.
There you go. You're Northern Irish. Done instantly.
Am I Northern Irish?
Roundabout.
Roundabout.
Hi, Dario. You just that's it. Hi.
we
how? That's how in Irish. Hi.
We'd sit there in the car for half an hour going round, Rhine.
Try it at home. You're all becoming. All you Americans who claim to be part Irish, because you all do, you'll now sound it. Roundabout. Done. See, easy.
What's your opinion on airports?
We've done that one. That's a long stream. I don't know if we've got time with 45 minutes to go.
45? 15.
Oh, fuck yeah.
What is your concept of time this week?
New Jersey and USA has enough roundabouts and jug handles for the whole country.
Roundabouts. Thank you, Cyanide.
Roundabout.
They're a bad choice, America. Don't do it. They are a terrible choice. They're probably a worse choice than guns in school. Let's not do roundabouts. Leave them alone. Stick with your crossroads with the lights. They're safer. I went out on my bike, so I had a bad day today, chat, right? I didn't want to tell you this at the start because you'd all be sympathetic. We don't want that. I had a bad day today. I had 1,000,001 things to do, and I achieved one of those things. And I just, you have those days where you just don't get the thing done that you need to be done because distractions or other things happen, or you start I just had one of those days. I was getting pissy. I was annoyed. Luce was like, "Are you a bit threaded?" I was like, I'm just pissed off." She said, "Are you a bad mood?" I was like, "Yeah." Do you want to go out on your bike? I was like, "No." And then like 10 minutes later, I was like,
"No."
I think I am going to go out on my bike, actually. I think I'm going to go and just clear the air for an hour, clear my head, and then come back. Which was the best decision. And I went and did it, and it was just a beautiful ride. Blue sky, sunshine. I've told you before, we can have this every day if we move to California. Blue sky, sunshine, beautiful, loved it. However, I did see no less than 3 near crashes.
Roundabout steepest rabbit hole for a while.
So 3 crashes, right? One, which was at just a normal junction where either was me and a car in front of me just going forward and a person on the left waiting to pull out and go that way who just pulled out.
Spoiler, people in the USA can't use roundabouts either.
It's not a problem because you don't have them, right? So I was riding behind this car and a person was stood at the junction, right? And then that person was looking left. So looking away from, if you're in the UK, right, we're driving this way, traffic's coming this way because we drive on the correct side of the road. And then a car was sat here waiting to come out and the car wanted to go that way. So he was looking this way. And then when the traffic coming this way was clear, he just pulled out. This car slammed his brakes on and swerved, right? And they must, honestly, it must have been inches. And I'm conscious that male inches are different to female inches, but it must have been inches. And then the car in front then carried on for about 10 to 15 meters and then just stopped. So I had to swerve round the front. Like, what are you doing? Why have you just stopped?
Do you reckon it's that what's it called? Crash for cash?
No, it wasn't that. People just weren't looking. You could, so I let off throttle and sat back a bit because I was like, this is gonna, because the car waiting at the junction just wasn't looking at our direction. When you're on a bike, if any of you ride motorbikes, a lot of you will know this. Your awareness goes through the fucking roof, and you start looking at things that you never thought you'd look at. So I was watching where this guy was looking. I would never look at that in a car, but I was watching where this guy was looking, and I just like, not comfortable here, letting off the throttle. And then he just pulled out in front of the car in front of me. So when that then car in front of me stopped, and I was looking at this guy, because the guy that pulled out and got beeped at, he then swerved around something else. I looked at him, as I looked forward, the car just stopped, and I had to swerve around him. I was like, fuck. The other 2, both at roundabouts. Sorry, roundabouts. Roundabouts, O's with I's. Roundabout, right? There you go. Ooh, Irish Amy. We can do that. I think we can do Irish Amy. Hang on. Let's find if there's an Irish Amy, shall we? Alert box settings. Super chats. And then we go down to the voice. We haven't changed her for a while. Where is it? Super chat message settings. Text to speech settings.
Oh,
Amy.
Blake makes a point. Roundabout lowers the fatality of traffic accidents by a huge amount. No on-head collisions.
I see so many accents though.
Maybe it's a traffic calming thing then.
Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Russian, Swedish, Turkish, US Spanish, Welsh, Legacy Voice, English Auto, English GB, Finnish, Greek, Haitian, Hungary, Icelandic, Italian, Indonesian, Hungarian. There's no Irish. What a racist bot. Welsh.
The important question, Liam, is do the attendees use deodorant? I can deal with bad food, bad beds, tolerate barely stocked bars, but eyes melting from the smell during a game is a deal breaker for me. Scottish Lion here.
I mean, what do you think? You've been to 40k contests, right? How many of them do in fact use... I'm the person, if I'm going to a long event and I'm playing, and especially if it's in the summer, I'm the person who takes a tin of deodorant with me. Are you going to check on the kids? Okay. I'm a person who takes a tin of deodorant with me because I'm like, oh, Gwyneth. We can have Welsh Gwyneth. So I'm a person that takes a tin of deodorant with me. But most people don't. I had to duck out for 5 minutes. When I left, we were still on Fest. Oh, no, Soups. It went, you missed the best part. You missed the best part. Smiley Maniac says, I'm off. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us, man. You're a hero. You missed the hotel rant. Yeah, you can rewind. It's fine. In fact, my wife Siri is Irish. Manchester Amy would be fun. I don't think we have a Manchester Amy. We have English Auto, English US, English GB, and then we have Welsh, and then that's when it starts giving you a name. The new versions have all got names, right? Arabic is Zina, Brazilian Portuguese, Canadian French, Chinese, Danish, Dutch, English Australian, English British. English British, you've got Emma, Brian, or Amy. You can choose. English Indian, English US, Joanna, Sally, Kimberly, Kendra, Justin, Joey, Ivy, Matthew. English Welsh, Grant, I feel like. French, Mathieu, Celine, Leah. French Canadian, German, Icelandic, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Mexican, Spanish, Norwegian, Polish. It's quite impressive, actually. Portuguese, Romanian, Russian. I don't know why I'm reading this out to you, chat. Boring content. If that guy Drew Pritchard from Salvage Hunters, who's about as exciting as a piece of wet cardboard, can make a successful TV, Liam Joe driving chatting is a solid gold winner. Exactly, Liam. You'd all watch it, right? It's a documentary everyone wants to see. I just need to get a TV crew behind us. Anyone know a good TV crew that will sponsor anything? Anything? We've had Rant Fest 23, yeah. I always have deodorant in my bag when I go out. Maybe I'm weird. See, I don't normally have, I don't typically suffer from smells often. But when you're in a hall of 150 men and it's cozy and close and it's warm, there is an odour that begins to linger. One that I think we're probably all mildly familiar with. And it just annoys me. And I don't like it. So that's when I take deodorant with me. And I don't normally, but I feel like a little deodorant tin about this big, right, inside your gaming bag is not that much space. Quite honestly. Right? We can try and make her sound as angry as we can with tame statements. Luce and Liam explore the US. If I can get on a fucking plane... I heard Channel 2 Million is hiring. Thanks, Angry Guy. Thanks, George. Thank you. So many countries to fly to. How do you feel about airports again? Airports crisis are a necessary evil. Okay. They're a necessary evil. I hate airports. You all know I hate airports.
In some Aussie player packs, deodorant and shower is part of the requirements, or you can get carded. Also use the Aussie Amy voice.
I'm gonna put it on for Marvin because he's asked for it just the once, actually. Is there any... Where do we find? We had English Australian, English British, English Australian. Russell or Nicole, Marvin? You tell me. We're gonna have Aussie for a while. Spray folks on entry. Yeah, you're gonna try and get me to do the airport rant again. It's not gonna happen. Right? There's no more airport rant. We've done that. Okay. Did it again. By the way, people, you're 44 members away from stopping me from quitting in May. Just so you know. Right? I warned you. Just quit. That's what's going to happen. It's going down too easy tonight as well. Russell or Nicole, Marvin, tell me. But yeah, we're not going to do the airport rant again. We've done that one. That was a classic. I hate airports, by the way. I hate airports. I don't want to ever go to airports, and I have to. Right, Nicole. Put on Nicole. Hit save. I don't know if it'll work for the next one. We've gone for Australian Nicole.
Australian Nicole?
Yep. Marvin super chatted and asked for Australian Nicole. Oh, no, he's changed his mind. It might be too late. He said Russell, actually.
As German, I am afraid of the German voice. I fear it sounds like it invaded Poland.
I mean, it kind of sounds kind of Australian.
Puts me on edge.
I'm going to go for Russell because he then changed his mind to Russell. So you've had a Nicole. Russell's now on, right? Crisis, thank you for the gifted one. If each of you gift a single membership, you feed the family for a week, basically. But you also stop us from quitting in May. I've told them, right? They weren't listening to me, Luce. They didn't believe that I would stamp on Joe's Terminators if we didn't hit 100 memberships every single stream. So I said, cool, we'll up the ante. If we don't hit 100 single memberships every single stream, I'll just quit in May and I won't stream anymore. Because that's more believable, right?
Right, yeah.
Magic the Gathering players are probably the smelliest, I agree. I'd have to speak to my mate Vince about that one. Nicole is dead inside, says Kirios. Easton, thank you for the gifted one, man. Honestly, I'm not going to quit, people, so don't worry about it, right? I always knew the Australians were robots, only way to survive down there. Nicole is terrible. We've changed to Russell, right? So we have to wait till we hear Russell, and then we can have any advances on Russell. Nordic Gaming, thank you for the gifted 5. Love your logo. What a hero. Thank you so much, man. What a legend. Do they say custodes in the same way? Who knows? There's only one way to find out. One way to find out. You won't quit. No, obviously I won't quit. I obviously won't quit, by the way, people. It's a joke to try and get more memberships each stream. Right, you got me. You caught me out. I'm not actually going to quit YouTube. I actually enjoy it too much. Right? Apparently Pokemon was even worse. Really? It's all wrong. Didn't say fuck or Drongo once. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Kirios in chat. Everybody, Luton and Kirios in chat, right? 2 of my favourite 40k creators. So go check them out. Both of them, Kirios TV and Luton09. Go check them out on YouTube. They do incredible content. They're significantly better creators than I am. So make sure you're sub to those people as well if you're not already. I'm sure all 280 of you are probably already sub to those people. Almost guaranteed, right? Wasn't nearly enthusiastic enough for an Aussie accent. Well, we've got Russell on, but no one's going to try it. So we might have to wait till We don't have to wait till Russell on. Well, fucking hell, when it'll be Wednesday now. We'll have to wait till Russell.
Oh, thanks, Scorpio. If Liam quits, Luce will be stuck listening to the rants all on her own. I can't do it on my own chat.
You find it funny.
Some of them are funny. Some of them I actually roll my eyes.
I think Luce actually does just tolerate daily rants. I think I probably have a daily rant.
They're near daily.
They sound so fed up.
It's all the way from things like you're moaning about certain boxer shorts. Like, why do they design them like this? And it'll be like 8:30 in the morning, rant number 1, 8:30 in the morning. And then it'll get to bedtime and a tea bag will burst. There'll be tea everywhere and you'll be like, why do they do this to tea bags? Babe, you're tired. Can we just go to bed?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Another tea bag. Blah, blah, blah.
It's worse when I'm ranting about 40k content because she doesn't understand it then at that point.
No, I just walk away.
Yeah. Oh, we got some classic Australian phrases coming through. Nothing like a bit of casual racism to end the stream.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not been cancelled yet. Maybe today's the day.
Yeah. Absolutely. Might as well make today the day.
That's not a request.
Kira says that's definitely not true. I mean, it is. It is Kira. Absolutely. Is there English book? No, I don't think so. We could do we?
Custores.
That was concerning. That was a bit.
I don't like that.
That was a bit. I'm not sure. What do we think,
like
chat?
that.
We've got some more coming through though.
G'day, mate. Custores.
Is that an Australian one?
Yeah, Russell. Yeah. That classic Australian name.
I don't know.
It'll be when schooners come to that we'll know.
Custores. Smiley face.
It does sound a lot more robotic, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't like it.
This is the one I'm excited for.
Throw shrimp on the barbie.
No, he doesn't sound afraid at all, does he? This is a fail.
Next.
This is an absolute fail, right? Absolute fail.
I used to know a couple of Australians.
Oh, we've got a classic coming up as well.
Loose is the best 40k lore channel.
Luce is the best 40k lore channel. We've got one coming for you, Luce, specifically. I'm excited now. Here comes the new series. Here comes the new series.
You mentioned last night Templars. What's the ETA?
Whenever they start the project, I don't know yet.
He's not chipper enough.
We haven't been given
Australian.
a commencement date, Mr. Yeston. I'm excited for Templars, though. If they add to what's up there, oh, beautiful.
50 seconds loose. Describe Leagues of Votan.
Leagues of Votan is like a sports day for 40k, and you have to participate. And there is a winner's medal and a loser's medal, and that's it. It's not a parents' race. It's a sports day for 40k. Leagues of Votan.
Okay. Right. Leagues of Votan are a faction.
Okay, of course they are.
It's not like an actual league.
It's like the league, like you run in a league, like football league, like a sports day for 40k.
Right, I'm going to put Amy back on before we go to the factoid of the night, the bit that everyone's waiting for. Fucking hell, woman. Oh, Amy, there we go. Amy. Save. We're back to Amy. Back to old trusty. Back to the old trusty workhorse, right? Back to the old trusty workhorse. You might not quit YouTube in May, more like you get cancelled by then. I mean, to be honest with you, if we're completely honest, Sadiq, if we haven't been cancelled by now, it's probably not going to happen. Because between Joe and I, and actually probably Luce for that matter, we've said some stuff that probably would get... But the thing is... Right, cancelled. Okay. Rant. No, we're not going to rant. But this is a point that I want to make very fucking clear. I feel like a lot of people...
Worth it.
Thanks for the donate, man. You're a hero. I feel like a lot of people are so concerned about being cancelled. To some extent, you allow yourself to be cancelled. South Park say it best as well. South Park have almost never been successfully sued. Do you know why? Do you know what their defence is?
They do it to everyone.
No one's safe.
Yeah.
No one is safe. We'll attack everybody.
So I feel like there's obviously unacceptable things to say.
Of course there is.
That's one of those of like, if I need to explain that is unacceptable, then I can't talk to you because there's...
Sports club of voting.
But if you have to explain to someone that sort of thing is unacceptable, those sorts of people shouldn't be in a position where they are on TV. They shouldn't be in a position where they're in the public eye. I'm conscious. I'm talking to 300 people, right? It's not a huge number in the grand scheme of things.
No,
so
but there are topics where...
So I do purposely put on TV in quotation marks. But if you need to tell a person that is an unacceptable statement, they probably shouldn't be in the public eye. That's a bit different. But if you say something with complete and utter innocent intent, that someone then tries to twist or turn into something that could be then considered wildly offensive and politically outrageous or whatever it might be, that is, I would quite happily sit there and go, yeah, fuck you. I don't like. There's nothing wrong with what I said. Fuck you. And
sometimes there's people that are looking for shit.
And yes, of course. And if the majority of your audience are like, well, we know Liam and Luce, and we know Liam and Joe. There's no way that there's any like. I feel like our community on the whole. Again, if you've been gifted a membership tonight, all 63 of you people that have got memberships, ! Discord, get yourself in our community. Our community is one of the most welcoming spaces that I think I've ever experienced in the hobby space in general. I've been in loads of hobby communities, and so often you go in there. It doesn't take long to see a little degree of toxicity. It also doesn't take long to go, oh, there's a couple of really big fucking cliques here, and I'm just not going to ever be part of that clique. And it's very quickly you go, I don't feel very welcome, right? In terms of that feel, we just don't have it in the Great Hall. It's just one of the most welcoming spaces full of the nicest people in Starius that you've ever met, right? It's just... it's just such a so I figured that if we were to say something innocently, because we are accepting and we are completely tolerant and we are very welcoming, I feel like the majority of people would be like, no, like they're good people. They're good people who care about people and they look after people. There's nothing malicious there. You're trying to get them cancelled.
I don't know. I think I reckon the human race will implode on itself momentarily because people are being backed into corners, and again, other people are making shit that was never there and then using it. Yeah, and it just gets like, for fuck's sake.
Smarvin, Jimmy Carr said it perfectly. What's going to get you cancelled has already been said, so why censor yourself? I don't censor. This is the other thing as well. And I think this is inherently part of the success of the channel, if I'm completely honest. And that is the fact that when Luce and I come on stream, or when Joe and I come on stream, we just be ourselves. I could be super concerned about what I'm trying to say and what my language is like, and I could be super concerned about who I might offend. I don't care if I offend people, quite frankly. Often, there is a line, right? I want to be very clear. There is obviously a line that people can cross, and people have crossed historically, and I want to never cross that line. And there is a line that exists, but on the whole, with the way I am and the way I behave, people on the opposite side of the screen will choose to be offended. And if they choose to be offended, at that point, that's a them problem. Now, there is a line. There is a line where people go out there to purposely be offensive, to upset people. And we can give some very obvious examples, like racial slurs, for example. So racial slurs are often an individual trying to be offensive or trying to induce some kind of shock tactic, and that is a line that has been crossed. In that regard, okay, cool. They're unpleasant. People have every right to be offended, They just do. On the whole, though, on the majority, most people, especially with this cancel culture that exists, most people aren't trying to be offensive. They're not trying to offend anybody. They're just being themselves.
I don't have the words in my vocabulary to try and put across what I'm trying to say, and that will probably get me cancelled because I'll stumble into all the famous bear traps, and you'll be there tearing your hair out like, no, Luce, don't say that. But I need to find a person.
That's why I watch, cause it's genuineness.
I love you.
I need to find a person who says the thing I'm trying to look for the words to say, and for me to be like, you, get this man a microphone. That's what I've been trying to... But I know millions and millions of people are feeling really frustrated and metaphorically gagged because what the fuck do you say anymore?
There's a weird censorship that exists at the moment, and a lot of the censorship is more based around fear than fact. And so people are often very concerned that what they might say might cause some kind of offence. And I don't necessarily think it's bad to be worried about causing offence. I think that there is always...
You should be allowed to say anything. In my opinion, the free market of ideas will evaluate such views accordingly. Free speech has to be free, otherwise it would cost too much.
I think there is...
So Kai's using too many big words now. But I think I'm getting his drift.
I was originally a first-tier member just to test the waters. After seeing more streams, I quickly upgraded. Everyone's fantastic and want fun for all.
Thank you so much, Nick. You're a hero. Thank you, Cowdoff, for gifting 5 as well. So I don't necessarily completely disagree with Kai's statement. There is a degree of that, right? This is where I know there isn't. I don't think it's necessarily a perfect answer to this either. But like what I was saying before, right? If someone was to go out in public and was to be purposefully inciting hatred towards a race, a religion, a sexual orientation, or whatever, then those people, to some extent, should be censored, right? Because what's going to happen is there will unfortunately be people out there who are relatively easily influenced, and we like to assume that on the whole everybody is free thinking and can think for themselves and make up their own mind. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in the world who are very easily swayed and who are very easily influenced by others. And sometimes those people that are very easily influenced by others can find themselves influenced by exceptionally toxic, poisonous people. But to be clear, most individuals in the celebrity space specifically who have platforms aren't actually very toxic people. Very toxic people are a extreme minority of individuals, right? On the whole. The rest of the speaking world, to some extent, should be allowed free speech. And I don't necessarily I don't care. I will happily listen to and have discussions about any individual's opinion on anything. And I don't care. If your opinion differs from mine on whatever that topic might be, again, we bring up the big emotive ones, the ones that get people really worked up and people really excited. Race, religion, sexual orientation, all those kinds of things, gender, equality, etc., etc., etc. They're the things that often cause lots of debates and arguments and etc., etc. It's the thing we see in the news all the time, right? I'll have conversations about all those things with all kinds of people who have all kinds of opinions. I have no problems with that at all. And I do not necessarily have any problem with their opinion on whole, as long as they're not trying to either force their opinion on others, that's a problem, or trying to incite some kind of action based on their opinion. They're the two bigs.
I run into this a lot, that people, like you've just said, I don't try and force my opinion on others. No, but you also won't drop the topic until the room agrees with you.
So they are.
So
is this the Dempsey Manifesto? Before you go postal and raid the GWHQ to eliminate the person who balances a game after 14 days.
But that's the thing. So in that regard, they are trying to enforce their opinion on others, but they're doing it passively, right? And those people also, it doesn't matter what your opinion is, don't force it on another person. A person is allowed their freedom of thought. They're allowed to think how they want to think. They're allowed their own opinions. They should not force their opinions on others. They should not use those opinions to incite hate, violence, action, right? They're the big differences, okay? And that's the keys as well that people often miss. So we now live in a world where everyone is apparently aware that they have this freedom of opinion, but then somehow feel empowered to need to force it on everybody else, and everybody else must think like me. Actually, I think the world is a more healthy place when we all generate different opinions and we all have different... We've spoke today, for the first 40 minutes of the stream, we're talking about these new rules on 40k, right? There's the new army rule for Space Marines Oath of Moment, and I saw in chat, and I can't keep up with chat nowadays, which is incredible, and I love you all for it, but I saw in chat lots of different opinions on that rules, and some people liked it, some people didn't like it. Now, I can't sit here and say, my view on this rule is it's bad, and you should all think it's bad, because that's not the right thing to do. Now, I'm obviously simplifying this, and I'm obviously making it less offensive on purpose, but I can't ever do that. That would be bad of me. Having healthy discussion about anything is healthy. It's what's called healthy discussion.
I disagree with censorship of everything, particularly religion, or we end up with blasphemy laws, for example, and thankfully such criticism gave us Life of Brian. Incitement is different, it's a crime.
Life of Brian was the best as well. But this is what I'm saying, right? Having difference of opinion is a very healthy place for society to be in. Only if that opinion, when conversed with another individual, is done intellectually and is not condescending, is not forceful. If you do that, I've had a conversations with other people about I have opinion A, they have opinion B, and it sometimes is that after my conversation with them for 2 hours, I'm like, there's actually a lot I agree with opinion B, and sometimes my opinion changes, but I've been able to have that conversation.
So I'm around people that say things like, oh no, Jasper, please don't wave that knife around. That's not very nice to that man now, is it? And I want to be like, oi, knobhead, where did you get that knife from? Put it back.
But take the girl out of Coventry.
I can't be version 2 because it's outside voices being too loud and there's too much volume and it's hurting tiny ears, and you think, shut the fuck up, he was just waving a knife around. Is anybody going to rugby tackle that kid?
The world...
I can't. I just cannot move in circles like that. I can't.
No, I think the world is not in a great place at the moment. In terms
I don't know
of
a kid called Jasper, by the way. I just made that name up.
She does.
I have
If
never
you're the
met
parent
a
of
child called
Jasper, you're welcome to get in touch.
Shut up.
If you are upset by the words that Lucy said, you can email the show. And I too will tell you to fuck off. David, thank you so much for the gifted 5. Right, you're here. Anyway, we're now 50. You got me on another topic, chat. Stop it. Right, we're now 15 minutes over, which means we're 15 minutes overdue for Lucy's.
No, I haven't got one. I haven't
new
got one yet.
60 second short. No, go on. What's your fact of the
Don't do it to me twice in one. I can't. It's too much.
Healthy discussion is taken as attack by the wimps of the world. That's the problem I have, right? There's offensive conversation and non-offensive conversation in my eyes, and I'm glad this is an opinion. An offensive conversation is, for me, obviously offensive conversation, and a non-offensive conversation is having a chat and expressing a point of view based on experience. Typically, we build our points of view and our opinions on experience. Okay, and the thing is, I don't know how many people are in the UK, Lucy? Is it 66 million people now in the UK?
Too many.
Right? So there's 66 million different opinions, ultimately. Because opinion is based.
I don't.
Opinion is based on personal experience, and that personal experience might be direct experience, and it might be passive experience.
I can't remember the name of the Supreme Judge who said one man's offensive language is another person's lyric.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I like that.
Absolutely. But this is what I'm saying, right? And opinions are often based on personal experience. Again, they can be direct and they can be passive. And what do I mean by that? Direct experience means I've directly experienced this thing. It's been something that's happened to me, and so I've been around it, or I've been surrounded by it, or I've been exposed to it directly, and now I have an opinion on it. Passive experience is I've never actually been in this position, situation around these people or whatever. However, my parents have, and they've told me their opinions, and so passively I've kind of adopted that opinion. So it's direct and passive opinion. Nonetheless, both of them, every single person that has those opinions, it's unique to them. Right? Typically, they're never going to be, my opinions are never going to be the same as yours. We live in the same house. We spend 7 days a week together, right? We're still going to have different opinions. You had a different upbringing to me. You have different parents. You have different friends. You have different school. We have different experiences, right? So we have different opinions, and different opinions is healthy, because when we look at passive experience, we can have a conversation about something we both have an opinion on. And when I hear your side of the story, what I'm getting at that point is I'm getting passive experience. It's not my experience, it's your experience, but I'm hearing your experience, and what happened to you, and I'm going, oh, that was a bit shit, or well, that sounds quite nice, or whatever it might be. And then that can change my opinion. So they're based on life experience. I don't know where I'm going with this, by the way. We just started down this path because someone said something about it specifically. But you can't. I don't.
See what I mean, Chad?
But what I'm saying is, like, you can't shut down someone's opinion completely, because they have their own unique experience. That's why they've generated that opinion.
The thing, I'm not about shutting people down, but the problem is, thank God that we don't have something like.
Okay, but my son's called Jasper.
Sorry. Thank God that we don't have something like being drafted to a war, because everybody just, I feel like maybe it's an older generation thing, that because veterans of World War II have come back from that, things back home maybe just seem a bit more like small fry, and now we've been so long out of a war that now I just feel like people now are like, are you really making an issue out of that?
You've heard it here first, chat. Lucy's saying we need a good war.
No, we don't need a good war. But it's just everybody has an opinion, but when you give oxygen to absolutely all of them, even the tiny ones that really are that didn't need saying out loud.
So when we talk about, this is the thing, this is where I'm going with it actually. This is when we talk about opinions. I think everyone should be allowed to have their own opinion. That's right. Cool. Okay. Perfect. And I think we all pretty much agree on that to an extent.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. However, society's evolved to a place where we've given everybody this feeling, this belief, this understanding that they're entitled to their opinion. You are entitled. Everyone who's watching, you are entirely entitled to your opinion. But we've gone that next step now, where everybody who has their opinion feels like my opinion's more important than everybody else's. That's the step too far. That's the step we need to bring back a level. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. And your opinion might in fact be more just than mine, depending on who it is who's talking about said opinion and who's experience. Nonetheless, my opinion about a subject is not necessarily more important than yours.
The problem is not forming opinions and stereotypes, is applying them to all members of a group by default.
That's where I'm going with it as well. That's part of where I'm going with it, right? You can have an opinion, and you need to accept that another person's experience makes their opinion different.
My son is as level 3. Sometimes I shut people down.
And I think you probably should as well, to be honest with you. Absolutely.
But then it's also things like, there's a weird thing on...
You choose to be offended at the end of the day. Offense is never given, only ever received. This premise largely brought about the strongest free speech laws in existence, the American Constitution.
Kai, I think personally, and again, this is my opinion, right, to be fair, so I'm not telling you you're wrong, but personally I think that is 99% true. There are occurrences out there where people go out to be purposefully offensive.
Well, now I'm seeing things on Facebook, the reels and stuff, and there's one in particular. I've never looked at what her name is or what her like tag is or whatever, but she does these videos where she's got a nanny, but she's a stay-at-home mum. So I'm straight away like, why do you need the nanny if you're a stay-at-home mum? I'm not quite sure how, whatever. And then the nanny's at the table because she's having dinner with the kids. And then the mum walks in the background and goes, oh, my nanny sits at the head of the table. For fuck's sake, use your voice, tell the bitch to move over, or send her home because you're home now. I don't get it. Jesus Christ, are we so soft?
Everyone's perspective is different. The world needs more empathy, 100%. I completely agree with you, yeah. Absolutely. There was a phrase as well. I don't know if I read it out, but I want to go and find it because I really liked it as well, actually. That someone put, Derek Forey put, nothing of me is original. I am the combined efforts of everyone I have ever met.
Yeah, true.
100%. And people need to not lose track of the fact that the next person you meet has had an entirely different experience to you. And so if they have a different opinion to you, that's perfectly okay. It is okay. It's not okay if they're trying to incite hate, violence, or some kind of aggressive movement. It's not okay if they're trying to force their opinion on you, to be clear. But it's actually okay they have a different opinion. And this is why I am perfectly comfortable that we're not going to get cancelled. Because
I think we will.
I slightly disagree with Kai's statement, because I think people can go out there to choose to be offensive. Some people will go and be aggressively... they will behave aggressively towards others in a way that is intended to be offensive, typically based on race, religion, sexuality. Typically, they're the three main at the moment that people would choose to try and be offensive and intimidate others. And they're a very small group of people, and they are not me, and they are not you. We're not those people. And because we're not those people, anybody who's ever offended by my content has therefore made the choice to be offended rather than I've actually offended, or I've purposely tried to offend them. And so I'm not concerned about being cancelled.
We will be cancelled.
Now Jasper's parents are coming.
Well, I ask you, Jasper's parents, where did he get the knife from?
Right, anyway, I'm going to wait for Crisis' Super Chat to come through, which should come through any minute, and then we will finally get to Fact of the Night, 22 minutes. I'm trying to take my wife to bed, people.
Oh, sometimes, babe, I want to just live in a different time. Sometimes. I miss having cups of tea.
For the settlement costs with Jasper's parents.
Thanks, man. Ryan says, might get cancelled with Loose demanding another good old war.
I don't want a war.
I think I might have missed some members as well. Did I miss them? Caldorf gifted 5, you're a hero. David Gaither gifted 5, you're also a hero. Barrow gifted 5, you're a hero. But I feel like I already caught yours. Thank you so many people for gifting memberships. We're at 78 tonight. We're actually only 22 away from 100. It would be super cool if we could hit 100 before Luce's fact finishes. Have you found a fact?
Yeah.
It'd be super cool if we could hit 100, 22 to go. It'd just be lovely for a Friday and let me enjoy my bank holiday.
Do you know what I really miss? I really miss having my 4 a.m. cups of tea with my residents, and they would just tell me about when they were younger.
If you woke me up for a 4 a.m. cup of tea, I'd stab you.
Oh my god. I think Luce needs to play the Templars on channel. She is obviously the crazy zealot that would burn planets for the Emperor.
Crazy Zealot is her name. None of your business. See, none of your business is a great name. He clearly wants a membership, as he says, Night All, because he sadly hasn't got one. Soldier of Nerdism, wants Mark of Zinch. He wants one. Soldier of Nerdism says, as ex-infantry guy, we do. Let's go and fight China. They'll see it coming. Danton wants a membership. There's plenty of people here for these extra 22. Right, are you ready, Luce?
Yes.
You ready for your fact of the night?
Mm-hmm.
Loose facts, that's right. LOOSE, loose facts. Because this book is, in fact, loose facts.
Researchers say you can fool your mind into thinking you are happy and smiling if you put a pencil between your teeth.
What?
So,
I mean, you don't... I want to turn the camera around.
I don't...
Are you happy? Are you okay with chat seeing you in a dressing gown?
No.
Oh.
No.
It doesn't look like a happy face. Kianan started it. Thank you for the 5. 17 to go. You're a hero. Legend. You didn't get Mr. Wallybot got one. Nicholas Beard. Feshmeat. Lord Pedrick got one. Poor old... What's his face? Who said goodnight a minute ago. You didn't get one. Poor old what's his face. None of your business. Thanks so, man. You're a hero. Sarduka then comes in and gives another 5. What a legend. We have the best chat, Lise. We have the best. Have you still got the pen in your mouth? No? Oh, you took it out?
Well, I'm already happy, so I don't need to hold a pen in my mouth.
Caldolf says fact. Is that a fact, though? Pat says, I eat crayons. Does that count? No, I would just end up breaking the pencil. I mean, you didn't use a pencil. It does specifically state a pencil.
It's as thick as a pencil. It's like a...
But it's not a pencil. You used a biro. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe it's to do with the wood.
Why with the wood? It's to do with your cheek muscles.
Chat is okay with seeing Grumpy Loose in a dressing gown.
I am not okay with
it. Ryan gifted 1. You're a legend. Pistols on 89. Ben gained 1. Did Sarduka get one for none of your business? Solid Star, Strategems, or Dunmac, KNC. Oh, no, okay. I don't think that's true, though. You don't look like... Do you feel like you're smiling?
It's the same muscles. If you've been laughing a lot, you know, your cheeks ache. It's the same ones. So I guess it could.
I'll do it for science.
So you'll feel the same muscles that when you laugh a lot. You have to,
But,
you'll feel it. You have to keep it there. Look, chat, I've managed to shut him up.
Banana.
There's not enough nanas there. But hang on. Banana na 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 na. That was how many she should have said. Bloody Amy. You feeling happy yet?
No. I don't feel like I'm smiling. I just feel like I've got a pen in my mouth.
Do you not feel like the muscles?
This is premium content, this. As I wait for those 10 more gifted. I don't think it's working.
Fake fact?
I think that's a fake fact.
Fake news, yeah.
I think that's a fake fact. I think we've just disproved that theory. If we haven't now got 238 people sat at home with a pen in their mouth, then I'm not happy. I'm not happy, right?
It could also work with a paintbrush. If you're all painting.
Mark of Zinch, he chose to become a member all by himself.
Nice one, Mark.
You're a hero. You're an absolute hero, right? The only fact here is how ridiculous you look doing that. Yeah, it's a fake fact, right? I feel like that's just got to be a bollocks fact because it's also the same action that our ape monkey relatives use to bare their teeth when they're being aggressive. I mean, I think we've just disproved it anyway, right? So if nothing else, what this show brings you is science. Only fans with Liam with a pencil in his mouth.
Yeah, the feet pictures are out. It's now pens in mouths.
Yeah, I've just been Googling random feet pictures and sending them to the chat.
You should find like gross nail fungal infections and send those ones in. Like, look what's happened.
And they'd be believably Joe's. Right, I think we might have just covered the cost of his hotel tonight as well. Fucking Joe, honestly. It is. I'm going to put him up for adoption soon. Mm-hmm. I feel like he is worse than having a child. Blood of Sagunius, thank you for choosing to become a member all by yourself.
John, just try with a paintbrush. Blue paint all around my mouth now. Thanks.
Dan, you're a hero. You came in at Skull tier as well. What a legend. So Skull tier and above is the tiers that help us out the most, and we're very, very grateful. However, I am aware that a lot of people say they can't even justify the 5. That's why we have the Hesir tier. A lot of channels out there don't have the lower tier. that gives you the Discord access and stuff. And the reason why they do that is because they basically want to make more money out of you people. I won't lie to you. We're the same. We want to make more money out of you people. But it's actually very important to us to be accessible as a community, right? And to
it helps to keep the trolls out.
So the reason why we have, like, I would love to open the Discord up for free and let everyone in who wants to come in. But then I have been in communities like that, and the trolls get in there pretty quickly. So this just keeps the trolls out ultimately, and it's super low barrier to entry just to keep the trolls out. And I have wanted to, nothing against you, Blood of Sanguinius, I love you. I have wanted forever to get rid of the Hesir tier and only have Skald as our lower tier, because we've got people that are Huskarls and we've got people that are Thanes, and I've got a few people that are asking me for a tier between Huskarl and Thane, but I can't do it because YouTube restricts me to 6 levels, and I've got 6 levels. So the only way I could do that is to get rid of another tier. And let's face it, if I'm going to get rid of another tier, it's going to be the Hesir tier. But I hate the fact that we would then remove that low barrier to entry. So I'm just leaving it as it is right now. Okay. But thank you so much, you people, for choosing to become members. That puts us on 92 for the night, which is amazing. You guys are incredible supporters of the channel, and I'm super grateful. Thank you to all the donators and the super chatters tonight. You're amazing. Don't forget, we do donate 10% to charity as well. And it has basically tonight covered Joe's hotel pretty much.
Is it Models for Heroes that you're doing this year?
So this year we're about to 236 people. We're about to announce I'm about to be announced as an official ambassador for Models for Heroes.
Whoop, whoop.
So Models for Heroes is a charity that we've chosen to support this year. Models for Heroes is an incredible charity. And what they do is they use essentially the building, painting, hobbying side of the hobby to kind of get people talking. Okay, so people that have suffered in their careers in the past, and it could be through things like PTSD, they use model kits, and they'll sit people around and say, and it's amazing. Like, Luce has had this direct experience with me, how much you might decide to start opening up when you're just sat there modeling, because your mind is focusing on your model. And so it's easy to talk about things. You've not got direct eye contact with the person who's trying to get you to talk because you're focusing on your model, and it's just very much easier to talk. So Models for Heroes uses models. They use modeling as therapy, essentially, right? Genuinely, they use modeling as therapy, which is incredible. Okay. Blood of Sanguinius, it wasn't a shout for you to upgrade, by the way. Don't feel like you have to. You're welcome to. It was just a statement. So they use modeling kits as therapy for people. Now, specifically, they support forces and ex-forces, and they support emergency services and ex-emergency services as well. So not just the Army, Navy, Air Force, but also ambulance, police, fire, etc., etc., etc. Incredible charity. If you !M4H, so M the letter, 4 the number, H the letter, it will give you a link to their website. You can donate money directly because they're a charity, but what you can also do, Games Workshop have stated that you can chuck all your plastic sprues to them to recycle, including sprues that haven't been used. If you have got sprues that haven't been used, and they've still got the models on them, I would encourage you not to send them to Games Workshop, but instead to check out the M4H website and directly donate them to Models for Heroes, because they then use those kits to give to veterans and to give to forces personnel to build as therapy, right? So please, 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 if you've got full kits that you don't want anymore, don't send them to Games Workshop to recycle and melt into plastic tables. Send them to Models for Heroes. Let them use it for therapy. It's a super good cause. And Malcolm, the guy who runs it, he's a top bloke. I met him properly at Rhino Hammer end of last year. What an incredible bloke he is. He's a really nice guy. The team are amazing. I want to say 2 of his team. So 3 of them in total, including Malcolm. Really, really nice guys. A quite small charity on the grand scheme, but they're doing incredible work. So there we go. Right? Perfect. Right, anyway. Lucy's about to fall asleep over there. Models for Heroes is a cause close to my heart. So I'm very, very proud to be working with them more directly. So when we get the opportunity to kind of plug them a little bit, I'm going to. Next time I probably shouldn't do it when everyone's asleep in half car. Anyway. Thank you so much for watching, you beautiful humans. Thank you, Blood of Sanguinius, to upgrade to Skull. And the last one, thank you, Mika Francie. I want to say Francie. That look right to you, Francie?
I'm looking at a whole other part of chat.
All right, okay. So thank you so much for you two becoming members. 93, 7 away. That's it, Luce. We're quitting in May.
Okay.
7 away, quitting in May. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.